Something don't seem right here. I seem to have misplaced my Leaf Ninja headband. Datebayo. Ohayo gozaimashita. Weeaboos. Acquire for yourself a job, and then return to my presence. That's what it do. That's what it be right now, today. It me, your boy Vash TSB in the building, weaving hand signs and dropping panties left and right, watching the CEO Taku blaze blue top 8, trying to jump ahead of the matches. I was watching this while pre-show was popping, you already know. It's time for the podcast. You know what that means. It's time to see who we got in the building. We only got one. You already know who it is. Moshi mosh.
Moshi moshi.
Daijoubu desu ka?
Ome wa mou shinderu.
Nani? I can't do that.
CEO Taco was lit though.
Dude, I wish. I want to. Actually, you know what? Okay. Fuck you. We're gonna watch Under Night in Birth. We're not watching BlazBlue, we're watching Unist, because, like, the first match, there was this dude who was definitely cosplaying as, like, an anime chick. It was hype. He got blown out, but it was hype.
Was it the guy dressed up like a nurse?
No, I don't think he was playing in this one. Oh, no. I don't believe so.
There was some dude dressed up as a, as like a female nurse at the,
my man,
like in the front row, every single shot.
My man's.
There it is.
Shoutouts to him. Shoutouts to him.
Look at that good boy.
So, what's up, Pokey?
Feeling pretty okay. That's what's up for me right now.
Nice, nice. It's about that life. Fuck. What you been up to since last? You weren't here last time, were you?
Last week? I think last week I came in late.
You came in hella late.
I came in, yeah.
Okay. So, let me figure out what you been up to. It's been a minute.
So, I got Hob, and I've been playing Hob, and damn.
Is this a metaphor for some type of STD? What is Hob?
All right,
I went to the doctor. I got Hob.
So, short history lesson. The boys over at an indie company called Runic Games. They originally came from Blizzard back in the day. A lot of them worked on Diablo and Diablo 2. So they parted ways, and then they eventually started up Runic Games. And their first two games they made to pretty high acclaim from people who enjoy hack and slash. By the way, hack and slash in the traditional sense of like dungeon diving, killing things for lots of gold and loot and shit like that, like Diablo, or Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It was very well received. A lot of people fucking super adore Torchlight and Torchlight 2. I really like Torchlight. I fucking love Torchlight 2. I think Torchlight 2 is like just a better game in every conceivable way. I would say probably the one thing that it lacks compared to the first one is it doesn't have as much of a dark atmosphere as the first Torchlight. That'd be the one thing. What do you get on, boy?
They put the hard zoom, and you can definitely see my man's peach fuzz for his mustache coming in.
Oh, I see what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
poor guy. Recurring void effect. Rager. Oh, God. So, you've been on that. How much you been playing that, actually? Do you know how many hours you got in it?
I could open up GOG right now and tell you. Hold on,
oh, you're doing it on GOG. Oh, you about that life. I forgot. Ever since Russia...
Yeah. You gotta remember, every time that there is a game on Steam and GOG, I choose GOG. If it comes out on Steam first and I bought it on Steam, I buy it on GOG again later. I like being able to own my things. It's pretty nice. Let's see. Hob, I have 16 hours and 57 minutes. So yeah. As I was saying, so these boys, they made Torchlight and Torchlight 2, which are hack and slashes. Hob is the only reason why I'm going to use these words is because it's just the best way I can describe it, especially compared to been comparing this game to fucking like Abzu and Journey. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't those games like not have gameplay?
I mean, I don't play... Okay, that's a lie. So, the only time I actually saw fucking Journey in person was at Skate's house. And that shit's a game, I think.
Maybe, okay.
It was like the section where you had to do like the live stealth shit. And I was like, okay, there's... Like, this is technically gameplay. It counts, it counts. Okay. This is a V-style entry.
So, with Hob, yeah, no, it's like... Hob is, the best way I can describe it is, you take some of the ideas from Eco, you take some of the ideas of like a traditional top-down Zelda game, like A Link to the Past, you mash it together. It's not identical to either, especially like say in terms of combat. Like its combat is simple, but it has enough there for you to do some fun things here or there, some fun ways to deal with enemies. Not anything exceptionally, fucking high, fucking button mashy. No APM. That's no high APM. But anyway, it's a good time. It's so fucking chill. It's so relaxing. It's so glitchy. It is so unoptimized. If you're running a 10 series GTX NVIDIA card, get fucked. I'm right now running a 1070. And apparently the 10 series is having massive optimization issues. It's not a very it's not a very complex looking game either.
I've seen, yeah, it doesn't necessarily look like that, but I guess I don't know, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean,
okay, as I recall,
love the game.
You were telling me they were working on it, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, they've been shipping out patches over the past couple days. So the crash issue, for me, it doesn't exist anymore. I was having the crash issue on launch day, but it's not crashed on me since then. It still has frame dips, which most of them seem to be smoothed over, but now like it still does like massive fucking frame dips whenever you transition to a spot that's going to load in a new part of the map, and it's just like, oh god, I'm dying. Like you can feel its insides like falling out of its body. Those are the issues though. It is, like I said, it is not a bug-free game. Numerous times I have clipped through... Okay, no. One time I clipped through a platform I was trying to land on. Thankfully, that did not result in my death. Also, thankfully, when you do die, the checkpoints are forgiving enough. So, and the only reason I'm even saying that's a good thing here is just because of how glitchy the game is. But I have frequently found myself stuck in just fucking bleeding through the map and then falling through it, you know? Which, by the way, they also they have a feature in there where you can actually just respawn yourself from the last checkpoint. So if you get stuck anywhere, you can actually deal with that.
Now, okay, in your opinion, is that something that's meant to, like, mitigate these issues, or is it just there, like, does it serve a different purpose and it just happens to work if you get stuck? Or is it like, they knew you would get stuck, so here's your unstuck mode?
It's twofold, because, okay, for one, I do believe that it's there to very much help the glitchy nature of the game, because this is something they've been dealing with apparently also in the beta build, when people were, supporting it through early access and stuff like that, and giving feedback. Also, as I said, it's partially an eco type of game, and for those who played eco, you would know that you have to fuck around with the environment to make things work in a proper way so you can make progress. Now, the way this game works, you can, as far as I'm aware, I've never, not once, have been able to make myself stuck somewhere from doing something out of order. Kind of.
Yeah, you were tweeting about that. What'd it do?
I think a sequence broke the game. Because I think it broke. So what happens is after every time you meet a checkpoint in the game, not specifically like a landmark checkpoint, but a like a story checkpoint where it's like, go here, do this thing. What it will then do is it'll mark someplace on your map for you to go to next. It gives you guidance through a marker. I made progress up to the point where I'm collecting these cores from very big things. I had to get 4 of them in total. I got to my second one, and after I got it, no check thing popped up on my map. No diamond to tell me where the fuck to go. So wandering around the map, I fucking went high, low, east, west, north, south. I went fucking everywhere. And then I eventually figured, okay, so there's this one spot that has been eluding me for a bit because it's something that I figured that the game was telling me that I can only really do something about later. And it's set up to insinuate heavily that it's something that you can do later, not now. So I go back and like, maybe now's the point. Maybe they're just not giving me a waypoint because they want me to figure it out on my own. I go there and I'm trying to find a way to get to this like lower ledge area, and I can't figure out for the life of me how to do it. So then through very shaky means, very, very, very shaky means, I basically inch my way off of a cliff to land onto another ledge that should not be accessible that way. And then I'm able to proceed and continue forth with doing the little puzzle area that's down there. So I go about that. It leads me around, and it brings me up to another spot that is a part of the progress that I thought I needed to get to. So I go up this area of the map, and then I start fucking... I'm like, okay, so there's these things, right? There's these like there's these spoilers. There's these fucking like giant eyeball things that they form weird clawy goop, and the eyeball things have an associated fairy that's trapped in a cage. You free the fairy will help you kill the thing. You kill the thing, and then it clears up the goop.
Okay.
So again, I'm in an area where they insinuated that I should only be able to do this later in the game, not now. Well, as I said, I used an unconventional method to get down there, to come around and loop around. Where it brought me was another spot where it's like, okay, if I want to get to that fairy, I have to jump over a cluster of purple goop. Now, here's the thing. In the many hours I had played the game up to that point, it never once asked me to actually leap over a environmental hazard in order to get something, because that's not the way the game is. Like, the environmental hazards they have you leap over at any point has only ever been gaps.
Right.
Not actual environmental hazardous material. So I'm like, can I even fucking make that jump? So I try once, and then I die because I fall into the goop, and then I'm like, oh no, I'll try again through persistence. The second time I make it, I'm like, okay, I guess this is right. So like, you know that feeling when you're breaking something, but you can't tell if you're actually breaking it? That's what was happening to me. So I make my way up, I free the fairy goes to the eyeball, I go to the eyeball, I fucking kill the eyeball, it clears the goop. I'm like, oh, I guess that was right. It doesn't feel right, but I guess that was right. So I go to where the giant mech thing with the core is, that I'm assuming that's where I have to go next. And then when I go there, rather than having a core for me to collect, it's actually a chamber where I store the other cores that I've been collecting. So the two that I had previously go in there, and now I only need one more. Here's the thing, though. You have a robot buddy that will pop up at convenient times to help you progress the story and tell you where to go. Not through words, but he'll start pointing and shit.
Right.
He's there, stuck in the ground.
How stuck? Define stuck.
The top half of his torso is bleeding through the floor.
That's pretty stuck.
That's stuck as fuck.
That's stuck as fuck. I
don't know.
I thought it was like a couple like up to his ankles. My man's just half in the floor.
Yeah. It's upper torso. No, you know, it's half of his upper torso. He's like from the chest upward. And his head's just staring at me like, what's up?
Can you talk to him?
No, there's no there's no like talking with NPCs. Like the most you get from that is like sometimes you'll see a fairy chilling like, hey, what's up? And then you'll see like the prompt to interact with him. And what you do is you pick him up and you hug him and he gives you some upgrade points. I fucking love this game, by the way. Like, I'm mentioning all of its problems like here front and center, but I actually really fucking love this game. I would not recommend buying it in the state that it's in right now, though.
Fair enough. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, Hobb's fucking gorgeous. It's cozy. It's comfy. It's fun. It's tight. But Jesus fucking Christ, it's broken.
That sucks to hear. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Do you know how big the studio? Do you know how big What's it called?
Runic Games is a pretty small studio.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, and you said 16 hours in. You don't think you're close to the end at all or anything, do you?
I think I'm probably maybe 70% through.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fair. How's the soundtrack, by the way?
Largely atmospheric, but it has a mix of very like chilling, cozy tones, and also some like just more chill, like whatever. It's cool. Yeah, you know, it's good background music. Probably something I wouldn't put on a playlist. It's got a good soundtrack. Really, its sound design is what's more stellar than anything else. Like the sound of collecting things, the sound of hitting things, the sound of your combo, the swish of the sword, cutting grass, hitting enemies. The way how like enemies like their attacks and shit like explode or whatever. Like there's lots of really good sound design in terms of like all the cues are fucking solid. Even like when you hear things like talk in their weird grumbles and mumbles and shit, just all sound super good. But yeah, there's only a few tracks in terms of soundtrack that I felt like were really stand out, and then others were just sort of like just really good chill ambient music, but nothing spectacular.
Fair enough. And how much is it?
$20.
That sounds like a good buy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll probably pick it up towards the end of the year, or whenever you say the bugs are patched out.
Yeah.
No, okay.
You actually might have a better situation than I do, because like I said, this is most of the bugs are occurring on the 10 series of cards. So if you're using AMD, you're lucking out super hard, and if you're like in the 9 series or previous,
yeah, I'm in the 9 series.
Yeah. So you might actually have a better experience than I am having. But the thing that I'm encountering, the weird progression bug, I think that's something that's more of a baseline game issue and not so much a card issue.
So are you saying that you like soft locked the game, like you can't progress, or?
I'm at a point now where I don't know how the fuck I can go anywhere else. So yeah, I'm pretty positive that I soft locked the fuck out of the game.
So if you have to restart, would you be cool with that?
Yes, I would be cool with that, but at the same time, it's one of those like huge gripes I've had. You know, like with Dragon's Dogma, 32 hours in, you know, I lose out on a quest because of dumb AI, and it like because of the autosave occurs right after I fucked up that quest. I'm like, fuck. Well, now it's permanently lost to me. I don't want to go back and play through, all those hours of Dragon's Dogma again to get to that same point and do it again. I mean, I will one day, but
just not right
it's
now.
been 2 years since then. With Hob, I can see myself probably doing it sooner, because a lot of my hours spent in Hob was me trying to figure things out. Like, it's not a difficult game, but there's a lot of times where I've sort of like I was dumb and blind, and I didn't see the very obvious solution. Like sometimes a solution might be, well, if you can't move on, that's probably because you have to punch a hole in the floor. So look for a spot on the floor where you have to punch a hole. I'm naming that specifically because it happened to me once, where I spent 2 hours wandering around like, what the fuck am I going to do? Not angrily, obviously. I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do here. And then it's like, oh yeah, there's a giant fucking hole in the floor. I could just punch that, go through, and then continue forth.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Hob. I need to keep a fucking eye on that shit. I don't know when I'll get to play it, because I'm fucking busy as shit, but there you go.
Yeah.
Yesterday I fucking got some recording done for a buddy, Nick Bolton, my mans, who did Buff Souls. So I got him some Dante and Nero footage that he was asking for. Recording in that game is fucking frustrating. Like, as soon as like OBS or XSplit turn on, my skill drops by like half. So I'm dropping like tons of shit. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, if you, I don't know, like, I imagine other people are like this too, but if you ever see me play DMC4 off stream, you'd think I was a god. You'd think I was that dude. Because I never drop Lucifer glitches, except when I do, which is 80% of the time. Oh, that's a good question from Bazzy. Pokey, have you touched Cuphead yet? Because I'm probably not going to get to ever touch Cuphead.
I'm planning on buying it one of these days, but my priority for the rest of the year is definitely Divinity Original Sin 2, A Hat in Time, and also Assassin's Creed Origin. I do eventually want to pick up Cuphead, but it's pretty low on my priority list right now.
Yeah, Cuphead's basically non-existent on mine, unfortunately.
Yeah, I marvel at it more for its art style more than anything else.
I think I'll be looking. What's the word I'm looking for? I think I'll be looking forward to it if like anybody is going to be running it at GDQ. Not like running it, but like if they're in the practice room and they're playing it, or they're in the PC room. I'd love to go sit and watch some people actually play that game and play it well, but I'm not going to be that guy. Fuck no. I have shit to do. I have other games to play. I do want to try Hat in Time, though. That game looks adorable.
Oh, it looks so cute.
It looks.
Heck, it looks fucking great.
Well, fucking, there's. Oh, it's too many games. It's too many good games right now, dude. We're in like the dark.
The dark good time.
We're in the diabetes timeline where everything was so sweet for a minute that it's actually killing us.
It's the dark wallet timeline.
Well, like fuck. Okay, so you want to talk about MVCI really quick?
Oh yeah.
So let's just jump around real quick. Sword coming all the way down. So MVCI, did you see the sales figures out of Japan?
Yeah, it was like 8.3K, right?
Yeah, it was terrible out of Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Bearing in mind, MVC3 reportedly did like 80,000 in Japan within its first week. For MVCI to be doing 8K, like granted, obviously this is several years in the future, but that's rough. And like looking at the yes, 8K. Well, obviously not 8K exactly, but over. And like I was checking out the Steam Spy records of MVCI, like top players. Supposedly, players in the last 2 weeks for MVCI on Steam sits at 2,400. Or not 2,400, 24,000. 24,000 players. Concurrent peak yesterday was 1,095. So, it's not... Like, you can say, like, granted, yesterday was a Thursday, so...
Yeah.
The real important thing is just like the sales figures for the game are sort of sort of rough. Like wasn't Divinity Original Sin 2 outperforming MVCI hand over fist on Steam?
I think so.
Like if
I remember fucking there was something else that it was destroying as well.
Like,
I can't even remember what it was.
On Twitter, people were always like posting screenshots of like MVCI blown the fuck out, and it would just have like top sellers. Divinity Original Sin 2, some fucking visual novel, another thing, and then fucking MVCI right there. It's like, ooh, blown out.
Yeah.
So, what was funny as fuck, right, is that there was there's a lot of shit going around. Like those numbers are obviously from Japan. I don't know what they're looking like on the American side of things, but still, as far as like Steam goes, that's sort of rough. Like that's kind of like peak harsh. And some people are like, oh well, aren't that many people getting into it because like it's not that type of game where, like apparently, and Maximilian was pointing this out, where they were like, okay, they wanted to get like a portion of like a casual base in for it, right? But the game is actually like a hell of a lot fucking harder than it seems to have really been intended to be. Just because of how much overlapping shit there can be.
Yeah.
But, you know, now it's like there's an argument that, well, they fucked up and they didn't actually get that shit out. Like, nobody's actually coming out for the game for it, like in the same way that they thought they were going to. And I'm not so sure that that's necessarily a reflection of how poor the game is, but it could just be that, you know, there are too many people that are torn between too many different fucking games.
Yeah.
Like it's like I was saying, you know, KI was released a couple days ago, and I bought it. I have it downloaded. I still have not loaded it once, just because I haven't had the time to do so. And I imagine that for a lot of people, it's a similar situation, especially for competitive players.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just the dunking on MVCI, as well earned as it is, thanks to some pretty shitty graphics and hilariously bad story modes.
That's a match made in hell.
A lot of it is striking me as like it's a very easy target. Oh, because there's like there's so much happening right now. I honestly think that things like that only really become super. It's not that it's invalid, but things like that don't become truly tangible forms of like observing a market's reaction until you see the absolute most absurd, crazy statistics. Like, for instance, we're going to be talking about it later, you know, Lawbreakers, you know, shit like that.
Well, those numbers just fucking hurt me.
Yeah,
like, I took a full crush counter right there when I read that headline. I was like, ooh.
And it shows so little promise for being able to recover after that, you know? Whereas, like, with MVCI, I mean, MVCI is planned for the long term to begin with.
Well,
so initial sales aren't something that they're really banking on as much as they help. They've already, you know, discussed how the initial wave of MVCI attention is not really focused so much on topping charts as much as it is in trying to support the tournament scene.
Well, some people, and I don't agree with this at all, people are saying that this game is going to turn out to be the next fucking Cross Tekken, where it's going to be like dead as fuck. I don't see that happening at all. Hell, like, the biggest danger in my mind there would be if the roster stays dumpster tier. But I mean, like, even I'm a prissy bitch about the roster, and I was able to find 2 characters that I want to play. So, like, and that's, again, to its benefit. The roster can be as shit as it needs to. Like, the fact that you only have to pick 2 characters and a rock, I'll take it. You know, I'll pick Dante Jetta forever. But fucking, like, I think the biggest problem could be, like, if you have these sort of, like, gods of the game come out, and all they do is just shit on everybody and take every tournament forever. Like, you have a much bigger possibility of, like, a rich get richer, poor get poorer situation driving new players out than anything else. But, like, as far as...
I'm very, very thankful, though, that they're also... they're supporting invitationals through online matches as well. So it's not all just, like, tournament.
Certainly.
Well, I mean, it's all, you know, it's online tournament, but it's not all, like, physical venues and stuff like that.
I want to see how many people actually enter, like, an Evo or something for this game. We'll have to see. But yeah, I just hope that the tournaments keep coming out for it, because I want to watch the game. Fuck, I don't know when I'll get to play it well, but I'll be able to fucking watch it.
Well, I think the Battle of the Stones tournament is going to be... It might help because of how stupid fucking dramatic it's going to be.
It's going to be great, dude.
Like, the fact that you can earn yourself a stone where you can take someone else from a different bracket and then within that same tier move them against someone else.
That's a genius.
What an
shit,
asshole thing to do.
That is genius, by the way. That is the smartest, like, fucking tournament promotional bullshit for the MCU I could have possibly thought of. Like, nothing is better than just swapping, like, the literal metagame of, I earned this blue stone, I'm gonna fuck your shit up with it. Oh, it's beautiful.
I also love that, like, one of the stones lets you swap your spot in that bracket with someone else as well. So people are calling that the collusion stone.
The collusion stone. It's perfect. Oh god.
Speaking of MVCI, though, did you see the taunt tech?
No, I did not. Whose Mance is this?
So it's not aware, like, it's unaware if it's a bug or if it's intended, and hopefully if it's intended, hopefully if it's a bug, it's something that they want to keeping. So what it is that when you taunt, like, on one side of the screen or mid screen, it actually locks the screen box. So what happens is people are actually taking characters with longer taunts, so that way they can taunt before they swap in their tag, and then their tag shoots in and starts doing corner combos on the side of the screen, even though it's mid screen, because it's locked there because of the taunt.
So stupid.
It is cool as
hell. That is the stupidest fucking thing I have ever heard. What the fuck?
Taunting has utility. I fucking love it.
That is genius.
Corner combos mid-screen.
Because I taunted. Holy fuck.
Yeah, dude. So, like, a lot of people are actually super digging Thanos right now because of in that specific sphere. Like, people are typically teaming up with Thanos so that way he can taunt, because his taunt's longer. So that they have another character. Like, they'll have Hulk come in, and because it's locked in the mid-screen, they'll have, like, Hulk do like a wall bounce and then come forth, start fucking up the dude, and then have him do a mid-screen corner combo on the other side of the screen. This shit's fucking bizarre. It is absolutely fucking insane.
Game is so fucking weird. What the fuck?
I love watching MVCI. This is the most bullshit thing. It's so good.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. I didn't even think it. Like, who the fuck would think of that?
I don't know. It was just some guy just discovered it one day. He's like, "Is this taunt tech? What's going on here?" So people started experimenting with it.
Huh. That's genius. I hope they leave that in. I kind of hope. I don't know why. I just want I want this game to be dumb as fuck. I want everything about it to be stupid as shit.
Yeah, it's a versus game. It should be dumb as fuck. Like,
it needs
the whole point is just to be fucking broken.
Maximum unbalanced.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's like stupid setups with Nemesis right now, where like you get like a free air grab in certain situations. Out of like a Chun-Li, like if Chun-Li does spinning bird kick, and then as she's doing it tags in what's his nuts Nemesis, you can like dash you can forward dash on top of the guy you're hit stunning. The hit stun will stay, and then you get like a free command grab. It's stupid, and it sets up for another combo. It's like it might be a full reset situation. I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. And it's like people are finding a lot of really dumb shit, which is good actually, because Nemesis and Chun-Li is a hell of a lot more of an interesting of a comp than like Dormammu Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Although there is one thing that's kind of broken that I'm sort of hoping gets changed. So there's a glitch that happens only under one specific circumstance that people have been taking advantage of, and basically it's Thanos Dante. And Thanos does something, I can't remember what the attack is, but when you tag in Dante and you have him do Stinger, Stinger transforms into an overhead.
Yeah, that's broken.
Yeah. That's actually fucked up. And people were using that, by the way.
So, well, yeah, I would too. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sign me the fuck up, brother. Yeehaw. Yeah. I'll go for free overheads, dude. Well, I mean, shit like that, that's the type of shit that you can't... You just gotta be careful for it. Like, there's some shit like I don't know, this game is weirdly buggy, now that I think about it. Like, when the game first started out, the big thing was, like, the full screen block state. Like, how you were forced to block from full screen and shit like that. It's fucking nutty.
Was wide.
Yeah, proximity was fucking massive. And then, like... I don't know if that was ever fixed, but there was like some shit where it's not necessarily a bug, but it's definitely something that seems OP, where Gamora's guns just go through shit for decades.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Yeah,
there were several displays of just Gamora's guns going through, like I think it was Captain Marvel's beam, where she would just shoot. It would go through the beam, shoot her, and stop the hyper. It was dumb. What else is there? But then there's like other shit where there's like the low gravity shit with what's his name, Captain Marvel, where he could do the shield throw, which would basically completely stall his downward gravity, so he would just float there. I don't know if it ever had tech to it, but it was definitely there.
Yeah, Captain America I think still has that floatiness.
Yeah, and then there's this fucking. Now you're telling me about this taunt glitch shit. There's apparently like some stupid reset shit with Nemesis, and now Dante has a free stinger overhead. It's dumb. It's dumb as shit. Also, what's up, Alex? So, yeah. I can't fucking believe it. I'm happy. I'm happy that, like, the game... Like, on a gameplay front, I still really want to play it. I definitely do.
Oh, yeah. MVCI looks like a fucking blast.
It's just fucking hard. It's really hard. There are too many good games, dude. Unist is coming out. Well, it's out. I don't read Nihon, so... I need to find a way to read Nihon and play this anime game. I don't know. Fuck. But whatever. That's MVCI. Shit's... Like, I'm gonna be following the fucking... As soon as we get American sales figures, I want to see that shit. And then I also want to start seeing, like, fucking... tournament attendance as it shows up over the months. Because, I mean, obviously, right now, everything is, like, sort of in that boom period where everybody wants to play the game, everyone's entering tournaments, nobody's getting too frustrated with it yet, because they're still in that major learning phase. But, like, as with MVC3, there was a huge period from like 2015 to 2016, I think, where like the tournament scene really stagnated hard for the game until it came back for Evo. And I hope that's not what happens to MVCI, although it's difficult to prevent that given everything that's going on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, Filipino champ was already there to gatekeep, which, you know, I think is kind of a really fucking asshole thing to do.
Well, I mean,
and at the same time, I mean, he had the opportunity. It's not like it was illegal, so whatever.
Well, the thing is about that, and it's important to remember, is that like some players just like Sonic Fox came in and I think he won CEO Taku.
Probably, yeah. What was he playing again? Was he playing Marvel?
Yeah, he was playing Marvel. He was like, but I don't think he was that deep in Marvel 3 at least. I always knew Sonic Fox as the NRS kid. He was always NRS furry man to me. And then he just comes out, and because he just has that strong fundamental base, he just fucking comes in and just plunges deep into some assholes with fucking MVCI. That's how it goes.
Like my main gripe with it though is just the fact that, like, I know for a fact Filipino champ and also like Justin Wong and all them, you know, they got the game early to practice with it, play with it, you know, for hours upon hours, like days, prior to the game's release. Like I think it was like maybe like a week ahead of time or some shit. And like that 1 week with all that experimentation is a crazy amount of time to refine and find the things that you want that people are coming in fresh, completely unaware of. You know,
I mean,
they get additional time in the lab, and that's why Justin Wong chose not to be there, because he didn't want to gatekeep. But
the main thing in my mind is that Justin would have done well regardless, though. That's sort of the main, and like that was the point that K-Brad brought up, because he saw a lot of the people being very upset at Jay Wong for having early access to the game, so much so that he just decided not to fuck with it, and then he was like, okay, I'm not entering MVCI for SCR. I don't know if I don't even think he went to CEO Otaku, but anyway, like he didn't enter that tournament, and like K-Brad was like, well, okay, you know, at this point it's only a few days, and also it's fair to point out that like Justin is just one of those players who has extensive history in Marvel, and he also played the game at some pre-release events. More than that, he's just an experienced member of the FGC. Yeah. He just has fundamentals where he can pick up fucking damn near any game and play it well. So it's one of those things. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I would have been fine if he entered it either way, because really I just want to see good Marvel. And it's like, yeah, really I just don't want to see fucking I just don't want to fucking see Chris G and F Champ do well, man. I'm sick of I'm like the game's been out for like not even a month, and I'm already sick as fuck of Captain Marvel. I do not want to see that character ever fucking again. Oh god.
Marvel or America?
Marvel. America's fine. I have zero issues with Captain America. I mean, outside of some of his, I mean, you know, make America great again. Make this match great again, dude.
They call me Vash, the Jingo Bullet.
You better stand. Captain America throwing shields at all the NFL players that didn't stand for the pledge. They need to start doing that at FGC, like at the beginning of EVO. Just have all the Japanese players stand for the American national anthem. Force them to do
and it's used through taxpayer dollars.
Absolutely. It's like, bitch, you're on the EVO clock. Do it now. Do it now or we drop the bomb again. 2 wasn't enough, apparently.
Daigo's strung up.
Daigo's just hanging from the ceiling. This is what happens when you don't stand for the flag.
They call him the Beast. We hung the Beast.
We call him the Ornament now. I want to see the story, like, Daigo's gradual decline into hard alcoholism. We're just like...
I'm pretty sure we'll see that manga soon.
There's no... a new chapter coming out. Daigo discovers Bud Light Draft. Alright. So that's that.
But yeah, fucking speaking, just little thing about CEO Taco though. Why do I keep on saying Taco? CEO Taku. Fucking the Guilty Gear tournament was splendid. I loved seeing so much Biken representation. I don't think a Biken won. I didn't manage to watch grand finals. But yeah, fucking that shit was tight. And my boy Ryudo was commentating for that as well. So nice to see him there.
Well, there you go. Probably skip ahead of that in a bit. Fucking this goddamn thing! I always need to reposition it. Bug. All right.
Bug.
Too far. There we go. All right. In other shit, MVCI Dundee. Don't even worry about it. You want to know what else is Dundee?
Al Bundy.
It rhymes with Lawbreakers. So
Paul Blart Mall Breakers.
So Paul Blart Mall Cop broke a new low with a record 20 concurrent players on Steam the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a way to put this.
Lower than Battleborn. That's one way to put it.
I mean,
terrible marketing.
I love how there's an article for this thing. It's called like, where does fucking Lawbreakers go from here? It's like, the fucking graveyard, dude. What do you mean, where does it go from here? Have you seen it? I have. The game looks sick, but I can't fucking put time into this game.
No, I agree. It looks great. Like, it clearly shows Cliff Bleszinski still has it. He could still direct a great fucking game.
It just can't sell for shit.
You look at the market that you're trying to compete in. Look at how it's saturated, and look at who's holding the fucking reins, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and the marketing was fucking garbage. They had a whole bunch of streamers trying to market it by having them play the game, even though they never played it, so they weren't able to demonstrate it to look as good as it could.
Shout outs to my man Cliff Bleszinski for holding the largest L. Like ever.
A hard-earned L too. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. Like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him considering the what's it called? For this thing, he was like, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And he was, but then he was still in last place.
Oh, poor boy.
Poor Goyam. He's dead. I hope this doesn't reflect too poorly on him, because the game looks good. I just, like, I'm at a different point in my life when I don't care about games like this anymore. It just really seems like a bad... Like, it does. It just seems to be a product of, like, a really shit time. Shit timing, I mean.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what's going on with a lot of people. It's just the game is just coming out at a very inopportune moment. With, like, a genuine lack of knowledge of its existence.
And also not putting it in the hands of people to market it properly. Again, I keep coming back to this thing where they were getting a whole bunch of fucking Twitch dudes to stream the game, but they were playing it like it was any other first-person shooter, or they were trying to play it like Overwatch.
Yeah.
But it's not that. Don't get me wrong, it's the same genre. It's still a hero shooter, but it still has its own feel, it has its own tech. Like, people weren't even using half the shit right.
This just sucks. I can't think, like there's a free weekend going on for it right now, but like, even though it's free, like, money for me isn't the issue anymore. I don't think it's the issue for a lot of people anymore, really. Like, the free weekend shit, I would be surprised if, like, it gave this game that much of a boost. What's interesting is that a lot of outlets are like, hey guys, here's why you should play the free weekend. It's almost like they're in on trying to keep Bleszinski off Suicide Watch. Oh, seriously, like, you wouldn't think that it would be the job of, like, gaming journalists to be like, hey guys, you might want to give this game a shot because, yeah, we're getting ready to lower the casket tonight. You could get a defibrillator, or, you know, you could just not play the game still anyway. I'm not gonna fucking play it. You can give me a free weekend all you want, I'm not touching it.
I have, you know me, I've never really had any focus on multiplayer only games like this. Like, if it's not Tekken or Guilty Gear, I have very little interest.
I think at this point it's like we're hitting the point still where like genuinely good-looking and interesting games just flop. And like it's not even this game should have come out like years ago. Just like before this game should have came out when gaming was shit. We needed Lawbreakers on the dark timeline. We don't need it in the diabetes timeline. This is a byproduct of the diabetes timeline. There's no
This is 2015, dude. This would be tight as hell.
Absolutely. Fuck. But now it's just...
Like, the only thing else that fucking released back then was just The Witcher 3. That was it. That was the only other game.
Well, even in its own market, it would have been competing for... It would have been competing with, what, TF2, CSGO, COD? It could have had a spot in that, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it would... I don't necessarily want to say that it would have survived the launch of Overwatch, but, like, if this game came out a couple years ago, definitely. It definitely wouldn't be staring down the barrel of, hey, dude, we just hit 20 concurrent players on Steam, and the game came out, like, what, a month and a half ago? If even that?
It's been rough.
It's been a short fucking lifespan. Real fucking short.
So how did it do on its free weekend? Is there any like, report?
It's still going on.
More than 20 people?
Let me see. Let me see. Lawbreakers. Let's take a look at Steam Spy. All the data and stats about Steam shit. Let me take a look. So, ooh, it's already at 2249. Peak concurrent players yesterday, 490.
Oh, that's something better. It's getting there. It's doing some things.
Playtime in the last 2 weeks, 1 minute and 58 seconds. That's an average, with a median of 27 seconds. What the fuck?
So people have sort of been averaging in by like hopping in and then not.
Basically, I think that's an interesting metric to consider with a lot of these Steam Spy metrics, is that like they just count people who are listed as having the game running at a certain time. I don't think it counts if they're being active or not. And this just seems to like, hey, boot up the game to make sure it actually loads, and then just be like, okay, it works. Turn it off.
Yeah, pretty much. Huh. That's what I did with Mirage Arcane Warfare.
Well,
that's that.
That is that. Fucking rest in peace.
Poor Cliffy B.
Poor Cliffy B. I hope, like I said, obviously this shouldn't come back to bite him, but it probably will. It's difficult to have a game whose like only real press is either A, reporting how you're dying, or B, trying to save you from dying. So yeah, I would suspect some type of shit coming down in the near future.
Well, you know, I also remember that this game is in terms of consoles, it's a PS4 console exclusive, and that rubbed a lot of people that play on Xbox like the wrong way. I mean, I don't know how much that would have saved anything at all. I'm not saying that it would have even remotely, but he did say specifically, it's like it's not it's not that he didn't want to make the game on Xbox. It's just that Sony offered them additional money to use for building the game. So that's why it wound up being a Sony exclusive, or a Sony console exclusive. So I'm curious, maybe it wasn't totally worth it in the end. Maybe the Sony audience really doesn't, gel well with this kind of stuff.
Well, are there any figures on how well this game is doing on PS4?
What was that?
Is there any fucking reports on how this game is doing on PS4?
I have no idea. We're only going on right now Steam reports. But I'm assuming that because there's like not even mention of the Sony shit, I would assume that's pretty
It's pretty similar. It's similar
horrendous
story.
right now as well.
We'll see. I don't know. I hope this game doesn't fucking... Well, I mean, it's dead now. You can't really save it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Moment of silence for my man Cliffy B. You
I'm
made
hoping he gets another chance.
You made a great game. Supposedly. Just sucks that
Allegedly.
nobody's... Yeah, so I've heard. Word on the street. I've been checking forums. So that's your Lawbreakers. What else? Oh, you want to just hit up Shenmue 3 really quick? Did you see this dev diary?
Yeah, that's all.
Did you see this high-key fucking damage control dev diary? Oh my fucking god, I'm putting this on stream real quick. Okay, so, you guys remember... Wait, you guys remember the Shenmue 3 trailer? When, like, the shit had no facial animation. Wait. 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 Wait.
Oh, here it comes.
It's coming in big. Hold on.
It's coming in animated.
Boom, boys. Hold on, dude. Huge. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this man. He's got a scrub on because he's doing the nurse and he's trying to keep this game on life support. Ooh, damage control coming in hot. Wait for it. Oh my god, it's disgusting. What the fuck? It looks like Pokey.
Look at that face. Look at those dead ass eyes.
Well, like, okay, in context, like, I get it. Like, it makes sense. This is, like, obviously, definitely super duper work in progress shit.
Yeah.
And, like, they're just doing tests for, like, basic lip sync and shit like that, and like, just trying to make the characters look a little bit less dead. But, like, they showed us 20 seconds of like, super debug mode test render shit, right? And then they're like, oh, did you like it? My man.
Yeah. They pulled off the Kojima. So this look,
okay.
I think Shenmue 3 is probably going to be a great video game.
I hope to
I think
God.
it's probably a great video game.
It better hope.
But man, they have this really bad habit where they keep on showing off shit way too early.
Well, it's like, here's the thing, they rushed the damage control.
Yeah.
They super rushed this. Like, it does not look ready at all. And they're like, it's okay. It's like they heard about these guys. It's like they heard everybody being like, yo, what the fuck is there? Nobody's face is moving. Why is nobody's face is moving? They read the Reddit thread, and then they approached their animators and were like, guys, can you do this real quick? And it was, dude, I'm working on like 48 different things. No, but can you just do this real quick? Okay.
You need faces.
Let me pull out my fucking iPhone 6S real quick. Alright, buddy, we're capturing the footage. Did you like it? Post it on YouTube.
I love also that they're stuck in the T-pose during this as well.
I imagine this is exactly what a lot of this fucking, a lot of what this facial animation test shit is anyway, but, like, it's interesting.
Damage control? Absolutely.
Well, no, it's like...
It's definitely like a response.
It's interesting to see it go, like, this in deep behind the curtain, because, like, the fact that they're just literally standing there in T-pose, running through the facial animations through the rig just to get the test right, like, that's something that I imagine that, like, a lot of devs actually have to do. But it's just, like, it's so early, and it's so deep in shit you don't normally see, that you look at, you're just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Did you like it?
You're right, man. Those dead eyes.
Her face is scary. I love how the dude is like, her face is scary.
I wonder what kind of conversation she'll strike up.
Help me. Who's a good boy? Waka waka. Waka waka. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Nevermore. Nevermore.
Oh, Shenmue 3.
This shouldn't have happened yet. Like, this hurts you. Shepard, this hurts you. Poor guys. Poor Goyam. Young man coming out. Hey guys, you want to see what we did? Are you still mad at us? Yeah? Yeah. Actually, it made it worse. Well.
RIP.
Shenmue 3, everybody. I'm not horrified, you're horrified.
Well, I mean, at least their faces move.
Like,
I'm hoping that they add something to the eyes, so that, like, some sort of shading, some sort of reflection.
I hope they remove this feature. I hope they go back to before they had faces move. So yeah.
Just make them headless.
Like, imagine if Indivisible came out and we're like... like, somebody pointed out, I was like, hey, you guys don't have a full game yet. That's kind of wacky. And then they just, like, ship you a bunch of, like, empty, textureless boxes captured on, like, an iPhone 6S. And, like, did you guys like it? Please stay tuned for more of our game. Or, like, the soundtrack wasn't in yet, so they just ran a blender in the background. Like, what the fuck? I don't get it.
I wonder how deep into development for Shenmue 3 they are.
I hope very surface. I hope to God.
They've not even, like, demonstrated the combat yet. That's where, like, my concerns also coming in, because, like, I mean, part of the reason why I love Shenmue 1 and 2 so much is because the combat is Virtua Fighter. So, and Virtua Fighter's really fucking good. So Shenmue is really fucking good. I'm not, like, they've not shown anything of that, though. And they said that they're not using the Virtua Fighter combat system anymore. Or they said they're not specifically using Virtua Fighter itself as a reference. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm really hoping they don't wind up going...
It's gonna be full QTEs. With no facial animation.
I'm okay with the QTEs being there. I hate QTEs, but Shenmue's the, like, it's one of the few games that made them charming for me.
They're bringing in for that Arkham combat. Oh my god. I would end it. I would end it tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what
it
I'm
would be
saying.
over.
If they swapped over to Bam Ham, I would be fucking... I'd be heartbroken. They're like, why would I even give a shit anymore by that point? Like, I'll be honest, like, as charming as the story is in Shenmue, my main draw was the fucking combat. So if they're gonna fucking dilute it down to Bam Ham, then...
This is like, this is a nightmare. This is quickly turning into, like, quite a dystopic scene.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, it's disturbing how incompetently this is all being laid out. When that's
exactly it. That's exactly it. It's how it's being laid out.
This is the project like, that definitely got Sony push.
Yeah. ever since fucking Deep Silver got their hands on it, like, and I'm not saying they're ruining anything because Deep Silver doesn't really have a history of ruining specific games, but like, there seems to be this push that, like, show them what you got. It doesn't matter what you got. Show them what you got, but we're not ready to show them. Well, it doesn't matter. Show them what you got. Like, do you remember the earlier dev diaries where they were starting to show shit and it was like, okay, cool. I see where progress is going. They're showing this behind the scenes, that behind the scenes. And then they come up with a fucking trailer where everyone has the deadest face. Yeah. Which sparks an issue. And then they show this where they're like, no, we're going to have facial animations. See? It's like, you're showing step one progress of the facial animation. That's not helping anything because they're kind of horrifying.
Help me. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Volition's been sticking their fingers in fucking Saints Row's own pie for a long enough time to be a part of their own problem, really. Now Volition... Oh, yeah. Are we even bringing that up? The Volition layoff? No, we're not bringing it up.
No, I have not talked about it. What's going on with it?
Volition is dealing with a whole bunch of layoffs. I think it's connected to Agents of Mayhem that came out recently.
I heard about that game.
Agents of Mayhem is just another Saints Row game, but with more superhero-y powers.
Is it already out?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
that game flopped like holy shit. Okay,
Yeah.
alright. I just need to confirm real quick.
Cared.
No, really?
No one cared ahead of time, and then when it came out, people cared even less.
I super duper did not even know that shit was happening.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Well, I mean, like, okay.
Yeah, Agents of Mayhem was a thing that happened, and apparently it's flopped so hard that I think that's what happened. Like, it flopped so hard that they've actually had to do layoffs for Volition. Some guys from like Insomniac were saying, "Hey, Volition guys that got fired, we're hiring over here if you want to give it a shot." But yeah, Volition's been fucking ruined, and it sucks too because after they made Saints Row 3, they kept making the same fucking game over and over. Saints Row 4, Saints Row Get Out of Hell, fucking Agents of Mayhem. Like, this is all the same shit. It's the same fucking game. You just got wackier and wackier superpowers, and they're not even that fun to use.
I hear you.
It also doesn't help that a lot felt kind of abandoned by Saints Row 3, because Saints Row 3 took the apparent what they say is really well written drama from 2 and then turned it into a joke. So they had like these, like, they apparently allegedly, I haven't played Saints Row 2 myself, but I take the word on the number of people who've told me this, that Saints Row 2 has like a really good mix of like comedy and drama, and lays it out in a very digestible way that's just good, like, you know, arguably very well written. And then Saints Row 3, well, you played Saints Row 3, like, the whole entire thing's a fucking joke. I came in at Saints Row 3, so I didn't even know that half the shit that was jokes in the game were serious bits of drama from the previous one. So, you know, Saints Row 3 definitely burned a lot of people that were really into 2. And, and the fact that they keep on remaking Saints Row 3 again and again and again, but wackier and crazier than ever before. It's like, well, I guess this was inevitable. You're just going to push your own fucking people away. I mean, Saints Row 3 was a bit of a mainstream breakout success.
Certainly was.
Repeat that again and again, and you're going to get some problems.
Well, I mean, it always sucks when you hear about layoffs like that, but it's just sometimes there's some gravy train shit that just sort of needs to come to an end, I guess, in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that, I mean, you know, THQ was, I think, their original publisher, and then, you know, THQ fucking died.
Right.
So, like, Volition was sort of, like, hanging on by a thread. Deep Silver picked them up. So, it has to be, I swear, it has to be someone in the higher-ups that was telling Volition to constantly make more Saints Row games. I can't imagine that it was them doing it to themselves. I can't really picture it being like, hey, you know how we have this library of, like, Red Faction and Summoner and shit like this, and Saints Row 3. How about we just make Saints Row 3 again and again? I really doubt it was like the devs making those shitty decisions.
Well, ideally those guys would have a good enough repertoire and enough experience to be able to at least be decent candidates for any company that they applied for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's just, it's tough when layoffs like this happen, because that's a bunch of people suddenly entering a very, very tough market to break into in terms of finding work. Let's hope. That's all I can say, is let's just hope those people find work again. Because that would suck if all this shit just turned into a bunch of unemployed people ad nauseum.
Alright.
So
that was Volition.
That was Volition.
Move on to?
That was, you want to talk about, you want to hit a high note? Do you care about Doctrine, Doc?
I care a lot about Doctrine Dark.
Okay. You want to hit the, so the sword is going up. We're hitting into the bright timeline again. Pokey.
Yeah.
I would like for you to talk to me about Doctrine Dark of Arika, the new dude.
So, alright, if you play Street Fighter EX, okay, let me put even more context to this. If you're a young boy of the 90s and you love
Pokey,
you see a Street Fighter game, a 3D one, with a guy that looks a lot like Leon S. Kennedy, but his hair's a bit more blonde, and he looks a hell of a lot more crazy. And Doctor, a boy. So he's coming back, obviously, from Street Fighter EX, now in the new Fighting Layer EX game, whatever the hell it is. The thing that's completely disassociated with Street Fighter. I want to know what the fuck they're going to do about this boy's backstory. Which, by the way, first of all, I'll say the first thing, the first most obvious thing. Doctor Dark looks great.
Yeah.
His art is fucking sick. Secondly, what are they going to do about his story? Because you have to remember, Doctor Dark went crazy because if I recall, this is how it was. He was with while they witnessed Nash die.
Okay, so wait, I need you to repeat that real quick. You've been cutting out for a little bit. So, he was with who while they witnessed Nash die? He was with Guile?
So, Doctor Dark went crazy because Nash died.
Uh-huh.
And I think able to do anything about it right away. And so he got extremely fucking upset and then went crazy. Now, this is all Street Fighter stuff. This is no longer connected to Street Fighter. What the hell is Doctor Dark's backstory going to be now? I need to know.
They might make it... Okay, I actually have an answer for this. They might make it a bit more ambiguous. They might just say that Doctor Dark became crazy watching the death of a comrade on a battlefield. So that way they can make it sort of more tangentially related back to Nash's death.
Yeah.
That
Not
would,
like directly, but like...
Exactly. That would be what I would think they could do. Just as a thing.
You know what
Motherfucker.
gives them the okay to just like straight up connect them to Street Fighter without having Street Fighter in the game?
That'd be great.
I would love that.
I would love that shit. Oh yeah. Alright, hold on. Where's the server location? Let's change it to US East. Because we are getting some serious fucking... We are getting some serious connection issues. Boca, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, let's see if that works. We were cutting out from each other for a little bit. Let's throw on some fucking Street Fighter EX2 Plus Doctrine Dark footage. Just so people can actually see what the guys looked like in previous versions. But, yeah. I mean, it would be nice if they could sort of connect it and make it a bit more canonical. I would like to see if we get any proper Street Fighter guest characters in Erika's game. This mysterious unnamed fighting game that still hasn't been decided a title for.
Yeah. Well, I'm still hoping for Palapulum, and I'm still hoping for fucking Blair Dame. You get those two in there, this game is set. This game is set in stone. It's all it needs to be. DLC later on, whatever, I don't fucking care. Those are the only two characters that I really give a shit about getting.
This is all I need. Fuck what
well,
you heard.
They've already brought in 3 of my dream characters, right?
Yeah.
They got Doctor Dark, they got Skullomania, and they got Garuda. That's... You've done. I'm already... Okay, I don't actually have a PS4, so I'm not buying the game, and it's not confirmed for PC. But, like, that would be what makes me buy the game right there. But, like, if you also get Blair Dame and Palapulum, done. Perfect. I mean, you can expand the roster with DLC all you fucking want. I don't really care. I would have the characters that I give a shit about.
Hmm. Well, okay, this game still doesn't even have a name, so it obviously does not have anything even close to a release date yet. We just need to wait and see when they actually fucking... Because they could still announce a shit ton of stuff.
Oh, is it Full Imperna? Okay, yeah. I always thought it was like... I always get her fucking name mixed up.
Well, in either case. Well, no, in either case, like, there's still a lot of time because they don't have any, like, actual release information out for the game. It's just more a matter of when they actually go ahead and, you know, they could still drop those characters, certainly.
Mm.
We will just need to see. So that is Doctrine Dark, my mans.
Look at that fucking D-Dark.
D-Dark.
They call him Duck Dark.
You want to hit another positive? Because I need to get water, and I would like for you to talk to me about Red Dead Redemption 2.
You know what, actually? Yeah. I need to get myself something to drink, too.
Okay, then I'm going to talk about Pyre. So I'll take the reins on this one. Okay, motherfuckers. So let me talk to you motherfuckers about Pyre for a minute. This game, when it came out, was fucking kind of whack. Like, seriously whack. But now that they dropped some shit, we got something called the True Nightwings update. So basically what's going on here is that, like, there's a big content patch that's dropping for the game round about now, which is going to sort of turn into like the New Game Plus version of the game, in a way. So what's going on with it is that they are dropping something, and let's pull up the full change list. So there were a couple of problems that I had with Pyre at launch. The first and most obvious one was that there wasn't really much of a New Game Plus mode for the game. And in case you're wondering, the game opens itself up very, very well to a type of New Game Plus system. It has a lot of character selection, a lot of build options, a lot of different routes, and shit like that, a lot of choices that you can make in terms that affect your play in the rights, which is sort of like the sports ball shit. And like it wasn't there. The New Game Plus element was just missing from the game. I even checked online to see if I was missing something, and it definitely was not there. But here are some of the changes that this True Nightwings or like sort of Iron Man-ish mode gets you. So the base game difficulty is set to heightened, which is the highest available AI difficulty that you can get. Now, there are two real forms of difficulty in Pyre. The first one is the AI difficulty, which, as I said, is set to heightened. But then there's also the Titan stars. So if anybody's played Transistor and you remember the limiters, or if you've played Bastion and you remember the God Shrines, it's sort of like that, where it's a risk-reward element where shit gets a hell of a lot more difficult, but if you can pass the challenge, then you get a much greater reward. So in this mode, all Titan stars are unlocked, which means they're all available for use, and some of them have to be used. So there you go. Then there is a rescaling of the way that level ups work in the game. You need, I think it's probably more XP now that I think about it. But you cannot, and this is the big one for me, you cannot load checkpoints or restart rights. So if you are playing in a right, which is this sports ball mode basically, you could, like, lose a shit. You could, like, lose the whole match, right? And lose it hard. Like, real fucking hard. And then you could, like, hit pause. And there's a little button in the, like, right side of the screen that says restart right. So it's basically, you fucked everything up. You lost, which is your fault. And then you just get to say, oh, no thank you, sir. That didn't actually happen. Actually, I activated King Crimson, and I have as many tries as I want to get this right. So, once and I found this shit out on my first playthrough. Basically, for the entirety of my first playthrough, I didn't lose a single right. Granted, towards, like, the last couple of chapters, given the fact that I was playing with, like, on heightened with quite a few Titan stars unlocked, I lost a shit ton of rights towards the end. Because the game actually does get pretty fucking hard on heightened with Titan stars. I lost that shit, and I just said, no, I want to see what goes on when, like, I win everything. If that makes sense. So you could do that, but now you can't. And what's interesting is that the lack of the ability to load checkpoints sort of removes the ability to do another form of save scumming, where you could basically, like... So there's two elements to Pyre, basically. There's the visual novel side of things, which is like you talking to your fellow people in the Black Wagon and all that shit. There's a lot of dialogue decisions that can have different effects on, like, your stats for the next right. It doesn't affect as much as it probably should, but it's still there. But if you wanted to experiment with different things and see what dialogue trees or what routes gave you the outcomes that you wanted most, you were able to basically look at that and make a decision, see what the outcome was, and more often than not, you would have enough time to be able to basically, what's the word I'm looking for? You would be able to reset it, go back, and take the other route to see if that's what you wanted instead. So there wasn't a whole lot of sticking with your decisions in the first game, provided you knew about the save scumming, which is literally found out as soon as you hit the pause menu. What's really frustrating about Pyre is that there's a really interesting thing that, like, there's an interesting premise to the game, I guess, where it's, like, the story will continue even if you fuck up. like, even if you fail, the story still goes on. There's not a true failure state. So like, the story moves on regardless. The main issue that I really have with it is that your failure doesn't really mean a lot. Like, in the sense that, like, as far as character writing goes, and this is something that I hope they actually include in this True Nightwings update, is that, like, you could lose your ass off the whole time. I mean, so, for the record, I did a full playthrough where I didn't lose a single right. I did a full playthrough where I didn't do any save scumming, I just let happen whatever the fuck happened. And I actually came out a lot better than I thought I was going to, but, you know, some failures did occur. And then I did what I called the fail through, where I intentionally lost every fucking right, and I took every silence option that I could, just to see how fucked I could make the game. And he calls her gay? Fuck this dude. Who's a... Gelot? You have shit taste in fucking names. What are you, like 12? So for the record, you can name this character Gay. So her name always ends in an A sound. So you could give her a name like Shay, or Ray, which is what I went with, or Bay. This dude went with Gay because my boy is still going to Cimarron Memorial High School, apparently. Shoutouts to my Goyim. But yeah, what was I on about? Right. So in the full fail-through, right? This is how hard the game punishes you for fucking up. You get all of one dialogue sequence that I can remember where Volfred, who's sort of the ringleader of the group you're a part of, after a fashion, he approaches you and is like, dude, you know you have failed every right. You have not prevailed in a single right. But you want to know what doesn't happen? You never get kicked out of the group. You, like, bearing in mind, there's like a very serious time element to the story. In the sense that, I'm doing my best not to spoil anything, but your success on paper matters a whole lot for your goal for the game. But in reality, you can fuck up as much as you want. You never get kicked out of the group. You never get told to go eat dicks. You get told your shit once, and that's all. Everybody else still treats you like you're the coolest kid on the coolest block, is a big issue with it. And I was really hoping that wouldn't have been the case during the fail-through. And also, it's fair to point out, and this is a big spoiler. Well, it's not necessarily a spoiler, but it's a very general statement to give. The full fail-through basically had no real consequences for continued failure, is one way I can think to put it. To put it another way, I'm basically saying that, like, the end result for the game was effectively the same in terms of the outside. So, okay. What you're trying to do in Pyre is your goal is twofold. You're trying to get people out of the downside, which is sort of like this prison exile realm. That's where the game takes place. That's where everybody is. All of your party members are basically exiles in the downside. And your objective is to play in the rites, and if you complete all the rites, you get to go ascend to the summit of Mount, what's it called? Basically, there's basically like the Super Bowl. You can think of it like a Super Bowl thing, where at the end of it, you got to play this other big dick team. Whoever's team wins, you get to send people home, basically. They get out. But And, like, so the other reason why that's important is because the more people you send home, the more people are going to be there to spark a revolution in the Commonwealth. So eventually, the main objective of the team becomes less about getting people out of the downside, and it becomes more about getting people out of the downside so they can spark a revolution in the Commonwealth. And basically, the end result of the revolution happens regardless of whether or not you get enough people out. The revolution can, for all intents and purposes, fail in as far as you do not have enough people out of the downside in order to help effect change in the Commonwealth. But even then, that doesn't matter because something unrelated happens that just puts the Commonwealth in a post-revolutionary state regardless. That was probably the moment that pissed me off the most about Pyre. And like, I'm not sure how much of that is due to any type of budgetary constraints. To the better half of my knowledge and counting, Supergiant Games is a team of 12 people. And not to say that that's necessarily an excuse, but in reality, I understand that more hands make light the work, and obviously that law works vice versa. So, and this game is big. It's like a 20-hour RPG is what they aim to make. I don't know how long I think my first playthrough was like 16 hours. So there's a decent amount of content in the game. But, and to its credit, and this is definitely to its credit, the gameplay itself, the rights, are fun, and they're very engaging. And I really like the concept of having your failure matter so much, and there's a big reason why. In the Black Wagon, there's this thing. It's like a little green orb. It's called the, what's it called? It's called the, not the Intoner Stone, it's, what, the Beyonder Stone, basically, or something like that. The Beyonder's Orb, something like that. Basically, it's a training ground where you get to go. There are like character-specific tutorials for how you play and how you can approach the different characters. There's also practice rights where you get to go in and for as long as you want, you can practice in the rights. And it's cool that it's like, okay, we've given you all the tools you need to like get good at the game and to be able to beat the shit that's going on in the actual fights. If you can't do it, then it just sucks to suck. But the game actually pulls a lot of those punches. And I was hoping that this update actually fixes that. Bearing in mind, I've not touched the True Nightwings update, just because I've not had time to really reboot the game. I'm in the middle of a playthrough right now, so... But, I mean, so what other changes are there? So you can't load checkpoints or restart rights. The Book of Rights and the White Loot are fully unlocked. That's like... So basically that's saying that your journal, your Jiminy's journal, and your jukebox are fully unlocked from the start, which is cool, I guess. The Slug Market inventory is fully unlocked, so you can purchase all the stats-boosting talismans and whatnot right from the get-go, which is nice. That makes for good routing decisions. You get to do Feats of Glory introduced much sooner. So Feats of Glory are like, you get to do specific things in the middle of a rite, and that gets you gold. So like if there's like a contract where it's like you have to throw the orb into the fire with like Tizo or something like that, who's like a little bird character. You have to do that, and if you do that, you get money. Yeehaw. And that's all of it. So this seems to have potentially solved one of the more major issues that I had with Pyre up to a certain point. Because the game's lack of New Game Plus, to me at least, seemed to leave a huge fucking crater in the game's actual potential. Like, at first when I read this, I was a little bit confused, because it seems like... And as you can tell, I've played the game quite a few times. I've been thinking about Pyre for quite a bit. And I was planning on doing a video on it after a while, and then they drop this for free, and it's like, Nani the fuck, dude? You just spiked my entire fucking script. But, in that same breath, maybe it's not as big of a change. Like, some of the things, like, some of your choices not really seeming to matter, I imagine that's going to still be there. But one of the main complaints that no New Game Plus really has, for me, is that, like, towards the end of the game, this shit gets crazy. And, like, so, heightened enemies with max Titan stars. There's a Titan star in the game that basically is a huge boost to the enemy's AI. So they're just spurging out. They're making movements that, as a human, I don't think you can even like replicate, because they appear to be frame perfect in some cases. And some of it comes off as input reading, where like there's sort of a faux parry system in the game where if you jump, you go over an enemy. If they jump at the same time, they get a parry, you drop the orb. So I've had some instances where I've jumped and then they've jumped right on top of me. I'm not so sure. You know, it's like it's in a murky area, but when the game gets crazy, it's actually a lot of fun, because you're fucking going crazy, you're APMing out, you're passing the orb everywhere, they're trying to interrupt, it's like a huge fucking frag match, you're fighting for chip. The rights themselves at their peak are fucking nuts. And then you get to the end of the game, you restart, and the AI goes full fucking retard. I'm talking like, they'll walk into you. So like, you see this shit here? This shit here is your aura. If an enemy touches your aura, they die, and vice versa. Enemies straight up walk into your fucking aura at like towards the start of the game. And like, you just see, like, they're so slow to... This is one of the earlier rights in the game. And they're just so fucking slow to react. It's not fun. It's terrible. So, like, this gives me a lot of hope, but it's not necessarily as... I don't know. It's not necessarily what I was thinking, what I was expecting from them, but hopefully it's everything that I want it to be, at least, which is a fun New Game Plus mode. So yeah, Pyre. New Nightwings, true Nightwings update. And this is just a side point. I don't know necessarily if the true Nightwings update is because of like criticism of the game. Like, I haven't seen many videos that have, like, I haven't seen any videos about Pyre critiquing it. I haven't seen any real forum posts pointing out any of the issues with the lack of a New Game Plus feature or anything like that. I've seen some people just being like, you know, the older games had it, this one doesn't. I don't know, like, I don't know if this is them trying to retroactively save face, or, which is sort of what I suspect, that they just didn't really have time to fully flesh out a New Game Plus mode. I don't really know how. This features list doesn't seem to be that crazy. We'll see. I'll play it and I'll get back to you. How does that shit sound, okay? That sounds good to me. Pokey, are you back? My man's is dead.
Just barely coming in for me, though. Like, I've been here for, like, the past, I want to say, maybe 8 minutes. Okay. But, you're coming in, like, you're very, robot-y for me.
Hold on.
Pretty bad. I just came in the last, like, 1 second.
Hold on.
You're pretty robot.
US East. Change that to Central. Can you guys hear me now?
You sound fine to me.
Sound okay?
Okay. You guys sound good? We're good. Alright, so that was the Pyre True Nightwings update. I'll get back to you guys when I've actually had hands on it. But there you fucking go. You want to
fucking slap up that Red Dead dick?
I want you to hit me with Red Dead Redemption while I go hit up my fridge for some lemon water. How's that shit sound?
Alright. So luckily there's also a bit of news that I could talk about too, since there's not really much to talk about with Red Dead 2, so I'll also mention something else in the meantime. So yeah, Red Dead 2 trailer came out yesterday. That was the thing that happened. No gameplay. Fuck you. PC announcement, which I kind of expected to happen like 5 years after the game comes out or something. Looks gorgeous. It looks absolute. And you're, I assume, a part of Dutch's gang. It's a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 2. Or I'm sorry.
Prequel. Okay.
Game, but it's the it's a prequel to that. Yeah, and it's, I don't know, there's probably gonna be like a young Marston. It looks like fucking what's his name? The homeboy you were hunting down in the first game is gonna be in there. There's someone with a very similar hat, much like that, in the trailer. There's really not much to go on.
Yeah.
there's so very little to say. I'm like, first of all, I'm pissed that there's like no real gameplay being shown. I don't know. Like that's all I can. Like it's gorgeous. That's all it's got going for it.
The only thing that I can really point out and that I can really appreciate from what I'm seeing so far is that based on a lot of the way these these scenes and the way they're shot, the way they're lit, the way they're composed, and everything else, it's 100 times better than even GTA 5 because just a lot of the way GTA 5's cutscenes were directed came across as they were just very dull or
they were very made for TV. Honestly,
right? Yeah, but this is definitely it's not even. It's not like, well, that was TV and this is movie, It's definitely, it just seems, I don't know. There's just a lot of like just really good, just composition choices and playing with lighting and everything. It just looks nice. There's a lot of points that stand out that really can sell a scene.
Yeah, they anchor the camera very well.
Right, and I think it's more fitting for this kind of game, especially because this is a more serious story as opposed to something like GTA.
And also, I mean, the general Wild West setting is something that you really want to encapsulate.
Right.
So, like, the cinematography has to lend in a complementing manner to the environment as well. Yeah. So,
but RDR1 did that too. Yeah. Like, obviously, it was more limited by hardware, but it's still even then it's I think it was directed much better than a lot of their other works. So I think it
still has one of my favorite Rockstar intros ever. Oh, yeah. When you're on the train and you're listening to the fucking the older women in front of you just babble on.
Yeah, there's a ton of play, especially there. I think they had RDR1 has a really great sense of like establishing new areas through whether it be through scenes or just through gameplay. I still remember even when you cross the border into Mexico and it's playing that very subtle like Spanish guitar and they have like the sunset and all this kind of stuff and you're just going over the bridge. Fucking gorgeous. Like that's still a super memorable point. All you're doing is just riding a horse. Yeah. And it's just this very still to this day, very memorable thing. So I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. I really would have liked to see gameplay. I don't know if they're just like, well, it's gonna play like RDR1, so it's like let's just focus on this. I just want to see gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll be completely honest. They don't even have to bring back the slow-mo multi-target thing again. Like they can give this specific character like a different gimmick if they want. Oh. I want to know. I want to play the game.
Well,
I don't want to watch cutscenes to a story that's so piecemeal that I can't really get a good grasp of what's going on. Other than people are assholes. Like, all right, yeah, it's Red Dead. I get that. But and honestly, when they did the same thing for the original, for the original Red Dead Redemption, I was actually pretty cold on that, like very very tepid until I finally got to play the game because it was very similar to this, where they just do this thing, they show a whole bunch of the story, but in tiny isolated pockets, where it's just like, man, everyone sure is an asshole. Okay, it's a Rockstar game. People are dicks. I get that. And don't get me wrong. I'm kind of thankful that they didn't really spoil any of the really good story shit in there. But like, that's really it for me. The way I digest these fucking ads, it's one of the worst ways to advertise to me. Just give me the fucking game. It's all I want.
Again, I think they play more on the fact that they go for these very detailed cinematic stories. A lot of different characters they want to show off. They want to show off everyone's faces and make sure you're guessing who's who's what's what.
Someone pointed out a detail yesterday in which the character firing off a gun closes. He blinks every time it fires.
Yeah, like they want to they want to focus on that. They want to get people questioning about like, oh, who's this character? What's their role? What's the purpose of this and that and the other? And then I think a lot of it is just them saying, well, people know our games. People know how they generally play, how they feel. It's not really. Everyone just kind of expects it to be of good quality that they can focus on other things, which I can understand that. But I don't know. I mean, it just I don't really care if it's something that if I don't care if I look at this and it's like it's gonna play like RDR.
Right.
I just want to see gameplay because it's a fucking video game.
Yeah, exactly. That's show me my homeboy
like, imagine-
lassoing up a woman and then putting them on the train tracks. Like, I want to
Like
see.
imagine if they just announced. Imagine back in like what 2000 and 2010 they announced Super Mario Galaxy 2, right? And they show the logo and they have like some cutscenes for like a minute and that's it. Like people be like, "What?" It's like, "Well, yeah, it's Mario Galaxy. You don't need to see gameplay yet." It's like, "Nah, I do.
Show
I
Kingdom
do."
Hearts 3.
Oh, it took them a minute.
It all just has fucking text overlay on everything, but it's at 100% opacity. Come on, dude. You don't need to see the gameplay. You already know what it is.
It's like, look at this phrase that we made up. It's like it's really cool. It doesn't mean anything, but we just thought it sounded cool.
I can't wait for a young John Marston to come in. If you can believe in a world, just dream of it, believe in it, and dive in.
John,
It's straight up saying
John
he was
Marston
like,
kicks in the door for Dutch. We're back.
Morris did straight up say in an interview when they asked him what it all meant. They were like, "Oh no," and they just thought it sounded cool.
May my John Marston, may my
shout out
heart
to-
be my guiding key.
That's what he says before he could. Oh, spoilerino for RDR1. That's what he says before he gets blown the fuck up. He puts his he takes his hat, puts it on his chest. Little camera zooms in. He's doing the hand to the chest thing. May my heart be my guiding key. Oh, this is the crossover I've always wanted, but I never knew I wanted.
Be beautiful, wouldn't it?
But yeah, so I'm still like, ever since the moment they fucking told, moment I found out that there's gonna be a second RDR, I was like, all right, cool. I want two things. I want one. Well, I wanted another RDR. I'm getting that. That's one thing. Number two, I want either it or both RDR 1 and 2 on PC. Probably not getting that.
Oh my god! If they don't do that, I'm going to actually fucking.
If they want to just drop the fucking ball, like the day, say like what fucking 6 months from now or some bullshit, they show off gameplay trailer, and then it's like, all right, cool, they do that for like a minute and a half, and at the very end they're like, oh, by the way, if you pre-order now, RDR1 on PC for free or whatever the fuck.
I would pre-order so fucking hard and fast
because I love it.
I would essentially be buying the game for the first Red Dead because
I love it when devs incentivize that when they have a previous game, either like maybe like an updated re-release or just including the previous game. Maybe it came out a couple years ago and you can get it on PC, but they just include it as a. I think Dishonored did that. Dishonored 2, if you pre-ordered Dishonored 2, you got the first game.
I know Bioshock. I think it was Bioshock Infinite. You pre-order that, you get the first game for free.
Yeah, something like that. I love that. In this case, especially, it would just be great to have. Yay! Also, on the side, we were porting RDR1 to PC. You can play online and shit if you want to. Fucking, whatever. Like it's still integrated with social, all that fuck. Be like, all right, cool. But
and it needs it, man.
We're not gonna get it, but it's like I know for a fact we're not. It's just I would just really, really appreciate that.
It fucking needs it though. Like the best you can play the original Red Dead is on Xbox One at a steady 30 FPS. Like that's the best one. That's not good enough, man. Just fucking bring it to PC. Jesus Christ. But yeah, complimenting that though. Some more things not forgotten. So something was just released a couple minutes ago.
Hit me.
Capcom says it hasn't forgotten about Mega Man. Now this is probably not an interest to like anyone else in this call but me. And I know there's people out there in the chat that'll probably give a shit. So yeah. Anyway, Rockman 30th anniversary thing happened at Tokyo Game Show. Which left everyone feeling pretty goddamn cold. And to the whole fucking like, hey, look, it's another Legacy collection, but this one's the Japanese one. Hell yeah, dude. So anyway, they're like, I want to say that Capcom has not forgotten about Rock. By the way, this is someone that works at Capcom. His name is Kazuhiro Tsukiya, or Tsukiya, whatever it is. To which he says, I want to say that Capcom has not forgotten about Rockman. This 30th anniversary logo here is being put to good use. Rockman's 30th anniversary is coming in December. December, please remember that date. On behalf of Uchi and everyone here, we are looking forward to it very much and hope you are as well. We are deeply pleased to be able to share this all with you, with all the fans who have made this possible. Thank you for all your support up till now and in the future. So here's the thing. What he's saying is true. The original Mega Man was released in December of 1987. And you and I have been saying this a fucking lot, where, like, really, you got to set your expectations for TGS at, like, low.
Yeah.
Because all the shit is announced in November and December. And December is PSX. November is also, or I'm sorry, December is, it's PSX. December is also the Video Game Awards and shit like that. So, if there's going to be any announcements involving something as big as Mega Man or Devil May Cry and shit like that, it's always that period to really keep your eyes open. But yeah, that's the thing that just happened.
I can't wait for a year to go by and for Capcom to go back to forgetting Rockman.
Yeah.
That'll be a bright timeline.
Speaking of that, they actually released a few new images of the cartoon that looked like shit at first. It's still a thing, and they upgraded the art, so it doesn't look as bad now as it used to. It's still not like what I would prefer Mega Man to look like, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as like fucking terrible as it used to be.
I gotcha.
So that's that. So that's Red Dead 2, and that's Mega Man.
All right. Now, who would like to talk to me about this new mode in Assassin's Creed Origins, where you go through, you don't kill nobody because that's bad, but you go through and you learn about the life in Egypt?
I think that's fucking cool as
That
shit.
shit's
They should have been
fucking
doing that
awesome.
since AC1.
Exactly.
I think that is so cool.
I love this because this is like fucking alright. So if anyone is unaware, Valve actually released something like this for Half-Life 2, where Gaben goes on about like what it is to produce a video game, and the idea that goes behind creating a map and how to get the attention of a player to get them to do something. If you just want them to go somewhere, you put a light source there and then bam, that's that. Like it's a really fucking cool like documentary commentary kind of thing for Half-Life. This for Assassin's, they should have been doing this since the first fucking game because this is sick. God, I love this idea. Oh my god. So basically the whole entire gist of it is no story, no combat. It's you playing as whoever the fuck you're playing as. You hop on the back of a horse and you start wandering around. And when you go to places, they just start fucking telling you about Egypt. They give you facts. They don't shove in their stupid, shitty alien fucking story. None of that. It's just, hey, so pyramids were built by the Jews. Cleopatra's actually a Greek. Fucking Mark Antony is gonna get all up in her guts. Fucking like it's just gonna give you historical facts, like fact after. It's so fucking cool. It's a tour. You go where you want to get the information you desire about those places. That's so cool.
Huh. Let's go ahead and hope, right, that all this footage is factually accurate. Because this... well, no, because, like, this is definitely something really interesting that games with Assassin's Creed's premise can really do. But I imagine a lot of people... Like, when I first heard this, I was like, I hope they just didn't look on Wikipedia for this shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that would be my main concern, is, like, if there's any laziness or anything like that, if they are not consulting, like, actual historians for a lot of this information, then not only is this mode not really doing its job, but it's also, like, it's sort of damaging the legitimacy of the concept, moreover.
Well, that's something that they've been, I don't know how accurate some of this, obviously, there's been things kind of pulled and stretched in places that fit the general AC lore and Assassins and Templars and all that shit. But I mean, since the first game, I remember there being commercials and shit and like all this advertisement or whatever with what was her name? The girl who started or what I forget. Back when that was like,
Jade Rape.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff coming out when I remember them like showing shit because I remember trying to watch like I think it was like watching South Park with my dad or something, and every like 5 seconds they would have a commercial for Assassin's Creed. And they would really stress how much they were going to historians and all these people to try to make things as accurate as possible in places, and that was something they continued to do throughout. I can't say the same for some later games like Syndicate and Unity. I didn't play any of those, but I remember that being kind of a common thing that was being addressed and really pushed. They wanted to get a lot of that as kind of concrete as possible. So I would assume if they're willing to go with this kind of mode, that they would want to that they would be continuing that and even doing it more so. But I don't know, because that would be kind of shitty if it comes out and you have all these people being like, actually,
yeah.
Well,
here's the thing though, like, okay, so there's a million and one different things that we can give the Assassin's Creed shit for, right?
Right.
Bad gameplay. There's shitty fucking alien story that they incorporated into it. The way they stretch certain things to make some characters interact with your character in a certain way,
Right.
that are kind of out of character of who those people were in real life. For instance, one of the things I fucking hate, I absolutely hate, is Blackbeard in Black Flag. Basically wants to suck your character's dick, but Blackbeard's a legend. So in order to fucking boost your ego as you playing as Edward Kenway, they're like, even Blackbeard's like, oh yeah, man, he's a good boy, man. That's one pirate that I fucking love. Yeah, it's like, fuck off, man. It's Blackbeard. You are nothing compared to Blackbeard. But no, now this thing's fucking jerking you off. But if there's one thing I will definitely give the AC team credit for infinitely, is their general structure of the world and the historical facts that are embedded within are fucking accurate.
Yeah.
People who are alive of a certain age in certain parts getting involved with certain situations who then have certain famous events happen are all done with accuracy. Yes, they're stretched to like, oh, it involves the orb, but whatever. Like the shit that happens with the Borgia in Brotherhood, that's shit that's been happening with the Borgia. Like, they took actual Borgia events, but then just found a way to involve your character in the stupid fucking Apple of Eden. But like, it's still the same shit. The way they act, the way how fucking they had fucking sentences like put out against them for fucking incest and shit like that. Like, that's all real. that's real ass shit. They've even gone so far as to, and they don't shove it in your face, but they subtly infer that Leonardo da Vinci's gay, which he was. Leonardo da Vinci was gay, which, some people found that out later and they're like, this has got to be some made up liberal bullshit. No, Leonardo da Vinci was gay. It's just as simple as that. That's all it is. Like the one other thing I would also give them shit for too, something that I really fucking hate, was Unity. I didn't play Unity, but I'm aware that they use British accents for the fucking French in the French Revolution, which is really gay.
I heard about that.
Yeah, their excuse was, well, French just sounds dumb. French is just French accents are lame. It's so comedic. Who cares? Just don't. All right, just use French accents. They're French. No one wants to fucking pretend that they're a British guy trying to be a French guy. Like, just be a French guy. And I mean, in fact, I think that they should probably even go on a step further, and they should have just not had accents. They should have just had people talking in their language with subtitles. But then again, that would sort of like narrow down their audience a bit more if they can't really, I don't know, if they can't read or some shit.
I agree. Assassin's Creed does need a JP sub version.
Yes, exactly. But regardless, like, they've genuinely, throughout every game that I've played, they have done such a damn good job at keeping historical accuracy a prominent and present element of the story. Again, notwithstanding their fucking OC, notwithstanding their fucking Apple of Eden and the aliens. But it's fucking cool. That's one of the things I've always admired about the series. It's one of the reasons why I give a shit, why I've always given a shit, is just because it's done so much to like put you there in history. In a gaudy kind of way, but at the very least they tried, man. And that's what I'm happy about. So like, this thing happening, I'm so happy about, and this should have been a thing since the very beginning. I would love to go back to AC1 and go to like, Damascus, or go to fucking Accra, and just like have some dude, maybe even Jade Raymond herself, for all I care, just like read out historical facts about the area. That would be so sick. But yeah, man, I'm already excited about getting the game to begin with, and this is just like pretty much sold me on it.
Mm.
When's this
But
coming out
I
again?
am going to get AC Origin because of this.
When's this shit coming out again?
Sometime this upcoming month. It's going to be in October at some point. I'm going to guess like October 30th or some shit maybe. But yeah. Oh, by the way, the mode's free DLC. It's coming out in January.
Good fucking shit, dude. What about those sick gold headphones? Dude, I saw that shit. I wished it was a meme. So I kind of don't even want to talk about it. So like these fucking headphones, these Beats by Yahweh coming in here. My man, whose fucking persons is this?
Beats by Yahweh.
So we got the Anubis brand headphones.
Flow by Adonai.
All right, where we go? Rare Assassin's Creed headphones. $59,000 pair of headphones. You fucking eating my ass, dude. I want nothing to do with this shit. Give me a picture of these. For what purpose?
Be gone, simpleton.
Be gone, thought. So, hold on. Let's get a picture. Just because, you know, somebody had to bring up the meme. So here's your fucking stupid, like, 50,000 euro, $59,000 headphones. Just take a look at that shit.
I haven't even seen that shit.
Why would you ever want to wear those? Like,
Is
just,
that iconic?
just talk about the,
What do you think he's listening to?
Oh man. There you go.
No, it's wait for the beat.
My lord, this next one's called Ungentle. Wait for the beat. Some say he's still waiting for the beat.
He's been waiting for 1,000 years.
So yeah, no, this is so nobody would fucking want to wear or use these. This is dumb.
So is that for like the fucking $1 billion pre-order or whatever?
It has to be. I don't fucking know who this is for. This is
buy Beats headphones. I rest my case.
like it's some stupid fucking like clickbait article shit. I still don't want anything to do with it though. So there you go.
Thank God.
Also, what's up, Ian?
Just got home from work and got shit on by a bird.
Hell yeah, dude.
Did you deserve
Made
it?
it all the way home. Got out of my car. Stood outside for a cigarette. Got pooped on.
Dang. That's life.
Get fucking demolished, dude.
I think it'll make you feel. It'll make you be a stronger person.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Oh, it is Friday.
You gotta get down.
Which means it's time on Friday.
Oh, the casual gotta get down.
Gotta have my bowl. Gotta have cereal. Gotta have a Nintendo telling me I can't stream on YouTube anymore.
Shoutouts.
Shoutouts to my guy, Reggie Philzyme, on Twitter, in my inbox, in my email address,
On your computer.
in my bathroom, hitting me with the young, I'm sorry, that's not part of the agreement we signed, so we're not actually going to let you stream Nintendo games on this platform.
So I only saw the headline for that. Is that what actually went down? They just said no streaming on YouTube.
Basically, so what's going on is that my man's Nintendo, like you remember when they had you sign, like when content creators had to basically make an agreement with Nintendo in order to be able to like monetize videos of their games, and like it was still a split situation. So apparently parts of that agreement do not include the YouTube streaming platform. So since it doesn't, instead of being cool guys about it, they're telling you to eat dicks. Let me look for the actual quote. But that's the gist of what I understand.
So only pre-recorded, no live Areno.
I'm pretty sure no live Areno.
And even pre-recorded comes with stipulations too. I mean, what's his name, Haydox or whatever, got like kicked off the program, or maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but I believe someone got like kicked off the program because they were too honest about something or some shit. I can't.
I mean, that I do believe that is a possibility. I could definitely see that being an issue if you're a Nintendo dude.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be a slight restructuring, very simple slight restructuring at Nintendo. They need to bring in one person and one person only and create a position whose job it is to keep them in touch with reality. Like, even if it's only 5 years out of date, that's an improvement over right now.
Well, so here's the full quote. Thank you for using the Nintendo Creators Program. We have updated the Nintendo Creators Program user guide with information on how revenue generated during live stream broadcasts on YouTube will be handled in the Nintendo Creators Program. Live streaming on YouTube falls outside the scope of the Nintendo Creators Program. This means that you cannot broadcast content on YouTube Live from the account you have registered to the Nintendo Creators Program. Please check the user guide for details. Thank you for your ongoing support of the Nintendo Creators Program. As YouTube continues to evolve, we will work to provide you timely information to help you manage your account with the Nintendo Creators Program.
Evolve, is that what YouTube's been doing recently?
That's a word for it. Definitely is a word for it.
Not the one I would use, but... Yeah, I saw that other thing they were doing today where they were saying you can't link to like anything third party anymore. No Patreon, no merch shops, nothing.
Yeah, if you monetize your stuff through YouTube or whatever, then yeah, like Patreon is starting to be something like you can't put it in the end card. You can put it in your description, but you can't link it in your end card anymore.
God, what a bunch of guns.
So
I need to be able to make money to live and feed myself. Nah.
no, you gotta free. Fucking Christ.
Oh my god.
Like, you see, we get that this video is technically yours, but it's also kind of ours. And like, you know, the bandwidth for that redirect.
Yeah, somebody's got to pay for
that.
Yeah, somebody's got to pay for that. We're not footing the bill for it, you are. All this shit comes out of your cut. So with that said, let's throw up some fucking Mario Odyssey footage. So this shit can so I can get carpet bombed. Show that 2 bombs truly were not enough. I can't fucking I don't this shit keeps coming, dude. YouTube keeps getting fucking hardcore fucking shook. They get taken to Suplex City in hot minutes now. It's ridiculous. It's redonkulous anymore. I don't even know what the fuck this video is. The first video that came up. It's not what I'm looking for. Eat dicks. Alright. So.
Which Nintendo minute is this? Oh, is this the Odyssey one? Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Odyssey looks great.
Odyssey looks
so good.
I mean, okay, I'm never going to stream this game, but I would like to be able to in good faith.
Well, you could still do so on Twitch without them being up your ass, I guess.
Oh, just wait. Just wait.
Yes.
You wait until
They'll find a way.
You wait until Melee HD gets announced and they're like, "Okay, wait. You can't actually buy this game until you join the Nintendo Creators Program." Like, they're going to pull Mango aside, they're going to rip him into a dark shack, H-Box is already going to be there with, 2 black eyes, and just, he's going to have some of his fingernails ripped off, he's going to be, fucking taped down to a chair, it's going to be terrible. It's like, alright, Mango, my guy. We know you, we know what you do. We want 80%. It's going to be so stupid. But yeah, I fucking... Oh, what's up?
The entire Vine Sauce crew will be in there getting waterboarded.
Mewtwo King is just being forced to talk to a girl.
Oh no.
Damn, that was mean. Anyway. Like, it's... I'm sure, like... I was hoping that we would have a little bit more time before the next instance of YouTube is no longer a viable platform. Like, before the next installment. Like, we're hitting the Shippuden arc at this point. Like, we're so many seasons deep, we can't even go back to the PewDiePie retrieval arc. It's just done. Like, it keeps... Because it's been... What has it been? 2 weeks since the last time we did a story like this? Where it's like someone just comes on YouTube and is like, hey, dude, that thing you used to be able to do. Not in my house. And it's just this again. I don't get it, man. I don't like it. I don't like what's going on anymore. They make fun... That's what pisses me off. If this was like Konami doing this shit, I wouldn't care. I mean, I imagine some people would, but I don't. Because, like, Konami doesn't make that fun games anymore. But this? Yeah. Odyssey looks great. Odyssey looks fun as fuck. I would love to play Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. That's the worst part is all this stupid shit is coming directly from Nintendo, and it's like, why Nintendo? Why?
Why do the people who care so much about fun
supposed to be like the fun people?
Exactly, and they don't want fun anymore. They have like the mustache raptor man in this in this Junji Ito-esque fucking mind control game, where you're just going around erasing people's existences, but keeping control of their bodies like body snatchers. And they just made a game mechanic out of stealing fathers from children. And they won't let me have fun with the YouTube live system.
You know that feeling when you go out and you see a movie and it's like having a good, it's a fun movie and you're supposed to be like, hey, movie, escapism. I don't want to think about real life necessarily, but then they'll throw in some like random fucking like political joke or some shit, or not even political joke, just like pointing out shit, real life stuff that's happening currently.
Yeah, when the background music turns into Goodnight Alt-Right.
Right.
When they show you the conversions of how jet fuel does not melt steel beams.
It's like that kind of feeling.
That was my favorite part of Hot Fuzz. It's alright, YouTube. One of these days we'll replace you forever.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
again, coming back to the same thing that has to be said. It has to be said because people always want to fucking at least make mention of it. Yes. It's very well known we ain't gonna die. But it's certainly trying to cut off one of its limbs. And I can't wait until it's finally fully sawn off. Once that leg is severed, it's going to be the day when a replacement's been found for people that within our little corner of YouTube is able to find a good alternative. Which, I mean, VidMe is not perfect, but so far it's the only one actually trying to give a shit, so... That's that.
No, the Vimeo arc is just Boruto YouTube Next Generation. No.
Oh, fuck.
Vimeo's dad. Well, people have been like throwing up prayers like, oh dude, fucking I just wish Amazon would just turn Twitch into the all-in-one site for gaming.
I would love that. If you could put up fucking pre-recorded shit on Twitch, that'd be sick. I would love that.
You can actually.
Really?
They did that a few months back where you can upload videos. Like people upload. There are a few like speedrunners, for example, they'll record PBs and they'll put their thumbnails as if they're YouTube or whatever, and they'll just put it on their Twitch because that's the only platform that they use. They use that to house all those videos. If they have other things, they'll put stuff on YouTube if they want to. But if it's like any of their speedrun content, they'll put all their recordings that they make and render and upload on Twitch along with their VODs and everything else. So they just keep it all
as flexible as like YouTube's uploader.
I have no idea. Like I don't know what the process is or what it's like or how easy it is or whatever. I just know that you can.
I'll have to start trying that.
Started doing a while ago. Yeah. So
I might actually try to get on that soon and see what happens.
Has Nintendo done any shit with Twitch? I think they have, haven't they?
Not
not sure.
directly, I don't believe.
I mean, it would be good if they hadn't, but I imagine
as far as limitations and anything else,
no.
Particular.
I see you're having fun there, Sonny.
The big stuff that we've had are the limited, like when the content ID stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole YouTube what creators program, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
I mean, that was mainly that was mainly directed to like YouTube uploads. That wasn't really directed at like streaming or anything else at all. So I haven't seen anything.
Thotimus Maximus over here, right next to fucking my main man, Turbo Virgin McGee.
I'm really set off in me. Like if I transform like Twitch into more of a like okay streamer first platform still, but still, people are encouraged to upload pre-recorded shit and can manage it in the same flexible way. Hey, bring back annotations or something. Just saying.
No. I thought about it, Pokey, and no. We're shutting down YouTube gaming tonight. That was the beginning of the end. You thought it was good news. It's actually bad.
We're just throughout your video.
Let's change the server real quick.
We're just fucking retarded and don't know how to code shit. So we're just going to get rid of it and make this really easy alternative so we don't have to fucking put in effort. But we're not even going to leave you the option of having annotations. We're just going to get rid of them. But the old ones are still going to work. So obviously we can leave them there. You just can't do anything. Fuck you. Okay.
First, we got to get rid of.
Aye. Fucking server issues all up and down the yacht today. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But it's whatever.
I think I'm already getting.
I think US East might be the worst. Let's try US West.
Yeah, happy about this.
Let's bring my people over to my side. No, Ian, it's not your internet. It's Discord at this point. I think it is just genuinely Discord.
Well, shit.
Let's try US West. Better. Alright. Let's stick with it. US West, everybody. Super Mario Odyssey, this video is no longer monetizable. Shigeru Miyamoto is coming over to my house with a gun tonight. It's good news. It's real good news.
I think that might not have been an improvement. I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out.
Sometimes it stays okay for a little while and then it'll just drop. I don't know.
Everyone over at Hitbox.
The game is gorgeous.
Game is great. I can't wait to play it. Just kidding, I'm not getting a Switch. I'm not getting a Switch for this fucking game. This fuck-ass game. How about this? I'll play it on Dax's Switch. There you go. Problem solved. That's how I'm playing Odyssey. Hitbox got merged with a Korean site? Oh, good. That seems like it went well. They're now Smashcast? What the fuck? That's not a fucking party game. I think that's all the news. Are we forgetting anything?
Smash cast when they could call it like StarCraft cast.
Well, I mean, because neither of them are successful games anymore.
Damn.
You're right.
Damn.
What's the next big Korean thing right now? I mean, I know they're still doing a bunch of...
I think that's ICBMs.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't Korea right now?
I definitely just dropped some North Korean fire and nobody heard it. What the fuck? Well, in any case, I think that about does it for all this shit in regards to news. News is Dundee. Super duper Dundee. Which means if I can hear... Let me, would my peoples likes to talk about some motherfucking viewer questions? Because that's it for the news. We're done, right?
Yeah, we're done. Get your hopes up for a new Mega Man announcement in December.
Nope.
Mobile game.
Nope.
Slot machine.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We did it. Alright. So our first question of this week comes in from @Goofy_the Lovely on Twitter, who asks, should top fighting game players help out newbies? And if they don't, do they kill the communities?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I'd say so. It's a different one than the type we usually get. Throw it in there.
Oh, I would say absolutely. I mean, I don't know. Like everything I've ever experienced with anyone that's infinitely better at fighting games than I am, they've always been extremely helpful. And I've spent time, like, just putting in bits and pieces of practice with me. Vash, that definitely includes you. And just in doing so, it helps someone just understand that a hell of a lot better. And then when they know something more, they share that knowledge. So, yes. Yeah, if you know shit, you see people struggle and help them.
It's interesting in this case because I think it's fair to say that, like, people, like, obviously you have some community members who take different approaches to being helpful. Like, some people, like Gutex, they'll try to make money off of it. And they'll be like, hey, motherfucker, $100 an hour. I'm gonna make you into the best player in your local. You're not gonna get further than that, but it's 100 smackery dues an hour.
I mean, like, if he has the skill to back up the ability to monetize it, I think that's perfectly fine too. I mean, time is money, so.
Yeah. It's also true to point out that, like, I sort of agree that it's not anybody's, like, just because you're good at a game doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be good at communicating that information to people.
Yes.
Some of that shit is just, like, it's sixth sense shit where you know it, but you don't know how to explain it to somebody, and you can't make somebody explain it. And, some players, like, they just have that natural talent for, God damn it, Ian. Some people will just, like, God damn it, Ian. I completely lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Right. So, in the same sense as some players, like, they're just different in terms of how, they're able to explain some shit. If they get it and they can put it into words, then it would definitely be helpful. They're not necessarily obligated to, at least on, like, a mass front, if that makes sense. Like, I imagine even, like, a super douchey top-level player will see somebody who's struggling, who's their friend, and they'll try to teach that shit like that. But as to whether or not, like, there's this, like, an expectation for, say, everybody who's good at Unist to come out and be like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm going to teach you not only how to play this game on a very basic level, but I'm going to teach you basically everything that I know about this game. It's like, that'd be nice, that'd be an ideal world, but I don't think, like, hey, that's a lot of fucking time that's going to be, quite frankly, wasted on a lot of people, because
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely add to that, though. That, like, it all doesn't have to be on a personal one-to-one basis. You've heard me numerous times talk about my desire for there to be, like, for IGN or for just a website in general to pop up where they put in, like, a review for a fighting game from someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. And not just one person, but multiple. Someone who's into that game, someone who might be more impartial, or someone who dislikes it, whatever. Just get multiple opinions on the matter. Just in general, I know there are fighting game websites. You got, like, Drunkard Shade, you got Shoryuken, but they don't really get promoted as frequently as they should. Like, sometimes you'll see, like, Shoryuken at the bottom of, like, a fucking of, like, a tag list of who's sponsoring something.
Yeah.
For an event. That's not good enough.
Yeah, it's been such a commonplace resource and just like a go-to hub.
Yeah.
For general information for so long that I think people it's kind of just everyone knows about SRK, but nobody really pushes that as a name and for what's general resource is, because it's such a very general thing. But there's some great writers who've put out even, like, some books that a couple of them have put out nowadays, and some general, like, guides, especially for beginners just getting into fighting games, that I think are, like, must reads for those people. And I only really see them advertised on SRK, and even when people are talking about SRK outside of the website itself, that's not really something I see brought up. You don't really see it until you go there and you see the advertisement on the right side saying like, hey, you know, read this fucking book if you're just getting into this.
It's really a shame too. It should get more of a push. These websites in particular should get more of a push. They should start. I feel like it would be great if they could find a way to get more money on their end to be able to hire more people to write for them as well. People that are reliable, people that are, you know, like solid sources for information.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to really worry so much about the notion of being able to translate what's in your head to someone that's struggling with the game. Because if you get good writers and you get to talk to other people about this who know what you're talking about, who know what you feel, you can construct something on that site. You can create these guides to help people with all these minute issues. And they already do to an extent, and they could go even further. But again, you know, like there's the lack of a push for that. And it sucks too, because I mean, I'm thankful that I know about Drunkard Shade, and sure you can, I don't go there often myself, but compare that to say the likes of IGN, which a hell of a lot more people use as their quote unquote reliable source for information. You know, and they're not really able to find that same sort of like just guide after guide, a very helpful and very well thought out bits of information, or at least in particular for fighting games, which fighting games obviously very much need it.
Right.
Well,
I think it's such a fun question, just because there's so many people learn so differently on top of whatever their reasons are for playing the games. Because a lot of the time when people start up, especially when they get a fighting game and they sit down and they decide, you know, I want to get good at either this fighting game or I want to get into fighting games in general, 95% of the time they don't know for what purpose they want to, other than saying like, oh, I saw this dude pull off this fucking sick combo, I want to learn how to do that, or oh, I see these people, you know, going to tournaments and they do really well when they get to that point and that sort of thing. But they don't, until they really start getting into either a specific game or just fighting games in general, they don't really find what makes it, you know, fun for them to play. They assume, you know, what's fun about it before they really start getting into it. And most people after a while will say like, okay, this is too much, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the driver, this is bullshit, and that kind of stuff. And they find, you know, they find reasons to stop. But like, so many people have different reasons to where, when like this is a problem that I would have when people would come to me for help, especially people who were, you know, maybe they were a lot more inexperienced and they were coming around to locals that we have, because I haven't been around, because I've been so busy, especially in the last year and a half or so. I haven't been around to local squad as much, but you know, I've been hanging around with local FGC guys, and they've become some of my best friends since, you know, 2011. You know, I went to a midnight game stomp lodge for the original Marvel 3, and I got like a fucking, you know, some dude walked in with like a poster for this local tournament thing, and I was just gonna go, and I think I told you all this before, but I was just gonna go walk in, you know, play a little bit and be like, okay, and then you leave, because that's, you know, I didn't know people actually hung out after. I thought it was just some guy set up a thing and you went and played. And then they invited me out to like this weekly thing. I got to know everybody, and for a while, for like a good like 3 or 4 sessions, I would just go and watch people, because I was so much of a pussy, and I was super like way more introverted than I am now. And I would just like stand there and watch, because I was like, fuck, dude, I'm so bad. Like, they're not gonna have fun playing me, right? So I didn't want to play. And it's such a common mentality too. That's another thing, is that you have to deal with people who they're either too scared to say something because they don't want to sound stupid, or they or you know, they're just nervous about playing, or they don't want to, you know, see, because they respect you as a player so much because you're better, that they don't want to bore you. Like, I've had a lot of people do that before, and it's like, don't do that. But some people will be assholes about it. But you know, thankfully this isn't fucking like when I'll watch Next Level and I'll listen to like Arturo Sanchez talk about, you know, Chinatown Fair back in the mid 90s, and how there were assholes like that. But nowadays, because there's more of a community aspect to it, and people have different goals and aspirations to what fighting games are, as opposed to before, where it was just like, you just want to beat up whoever's local because that's all you had. And you know, traveling wasn't really much of a thing. All this, you know, it wasn't such a big thing. And then you don't really have to worry about that aspect. But as I was playing, I remember having all these different experiences with people trying to help me out.
Yeah.
And you had some people who would not say, you would sit down and play with them and they would be good, but they wouldn't say a single thing to you. They would just chill and play, unless you actually stopped and said like, hey, what about this? And they would immediately pop up and be like, oh yeah, this and this and this, that and that. And they would just keep it as basic as possible, to where it's like, if I say, hey, how do I keep getting hit by this? And it's like, oh, well, you need to block this way. and it's just super simple. They won't really talk about anything around it. They'll answer your question as straightforward, as simple as possible. I would have other people who would like, and this is the worst thing. Like while I'm playing, they would stop and be like, "Hey, why'd you do that?" And I'm like, "I cannot focus on what you just said because I'm still playing. Please don't do that." So you have people who would be like really eager to really, so eager to help out that they would like start talking in mid-match. And that was only like one guy who did that. That was the guy who ended up beating his wife. He was an asshole. But so we don't talk about. I don't talk to him. But he would try to be like overly helpful, and half the time he would try to explain something to me, and then other people would like correct him, and it was really funny. He was one of those guys who would just destroy me with Abel, but then like a couple years later, like we would play sets, and I would
and then he would just destroy his wife.
Right. I would just I think it was around when I started just destroying his Abel every time we had a set with Adon, then he started beating his wife, so I don't know if I actually had a hand in that.
Good job.
We stopped hanging out with him, and then one of our other guys actually like cucked him out of his wife, and they got married. And because she finally like got away from him because she just couldn't stand it anymore. Like she was just legitimately scared of him, and then she got away, and then they got married, and they have a kid now. Super adorable daughter. It actually worked out. It's a good timeline.
Man, Able players and telling.
So Able players. Oh god. So, but then I would have other people who would like they would. This was my favorite method where they would run a set with me and we would just kind of play, and then afterwards they would help me and like break things down that they just habits that they saw. And this didn't happen until I met one of the guys in the community. He goes by Squabbler. And he just sat down. He was like, "Look, there are certain points when this situation happened where you would do this repeatedly, and it became really obvious." And little things like, because I wasn't thinking about, because I was so early, I couldn't even do like I couldn't do like certain motions, like I couldn't do like fucking FADCs and all that kind of stuff. This is Street Fighter 4, and like they were like I didn't know what to focus on. That was my biggest thing, because I didn't know. It's like, should I be worrying about when I get a DP? I want to be able to cancel the ultra because I can't, I need the damage. And finally, I would have people come to me and say like, "Don't worry about that right now. Just like, don't worry about that. Don't focus on that. Do this and that, the other." But but then you would have other people come to me and be like, "Oh, don't even play that character. Don't play that character. Play Ryu. Play someone basic." And it's like, well, I don't want to play Ryu. Then you have other people say like, "Oh, you should play whatever you want." So it's really interesting to me, and this is just a fucking ramble, but it's interesting to me because there are so many people who I've met in the either the local community or the community at large who are very eager to help, who are good players who are very eager to help, but they all have different methods because they come from different backgrounds and what they did. And what I think it proves to me is that obviously plenty of fucking methods work as long as you have the motivation to just keep pressing, because eventually you'll learn those other techniques in time. And it's a matter of, just kind of figuring out what, it's as fucking general as it sounds, figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
But people come to me and they say like, what do you do when you started? And one of the first things I say is like, when you pick a character who looks cool. And that's something that let's say 50 people are 50-50 on. A lot of people say, "Oh, you should pick this character because they're like the." How many times have you heard, "Oh, if you play Gear, you should pick Saul because he's like the Ryu of the game."
Yeah.
Right.
If you play Unis, you should pick Hyde because he's like the Ryu of the game. I understand the argument because they're basing it on, because they're trying to give you a sense of like grounded fundamentals between games. They're trying to build a connection between these games where if you play this game and then you go to this other game and it's like, okay, you can kind of understand fundamentally how to go about it just to get started, just to
The translation.
give yourself any sort of sense of comfort to help you focus on other things. It's like a totally understandable comment, but at the same time, I care very much about a roster of characters, and I care very much about characters that look cool. I like Adon because he was a goofy fuck who just laughed all the time, and he was like, Sagat, you're a faggot, man. He was great. He liked his Colgate. I liked his hair. He kept his teeth shiny, so I wanted to play him. And that was really it. They had like an off the wall move, and I was like, okay. And then I just started doing shit, and I stuck with it for a long time. And I made it work. And yeah, I have no idea if it would have been better for me to have picked someone else like Ryu or not. But at the same time, early on, I had a DP, so there would be a lot of moments to where even though I'm aware that I'm kind of being scrubby and mashing DP in a couple block strings, it would still work at times because I knew that it had a DP. So I had to like, everything's so fucking different between characters and games that it's so hard to just have a general as someone who's tried to help people before, it's really difficult to try to, I guess, have a mindset that would be general enough to work for everybody, and then across all games, like everyone has to be so different if you want to do it to the best of your ability. It's. I think top players should be open to help when they're asked about it. Bottom line, I don't think anyone's really super obligated, because I feel like there's gonna be people who do it to different degrees, and there's so many fucking resources out there. I think it is, and like we said, I think SRK needs to be promoted more, because I feel like I've seen people be like, oh, I found this tutorial thing, do you think this is good to use? I've been using it for a little bit, and they'll link it to me and I'll watch it and be like, this first like 8 seconds in, this guy said something wrong, like that sort of thing, because they just found something random on YouTube that some guy made. But generally, it's like, I haven't found, just like doing random YouTube searches of tutorials and stuff, I haven't really found anything that's like that spreads a lot of misinformation. Again, I think a lot of it is just opinions, for the most part. Like a lot of the general tutorials that you're going to see are like how to hold a stick, right? And people will just show you the different methods and be like, I do it this way, but you just pick yours. That's a lot of it. It's just like, this is how I do it, but you can do it however the fuck you want. But like, and there are some games that I would have no idea how to teach like a beginner. Like, I would never have someone new to fighting games play Marvel Infinite, because it's like, because I don't know how I would make the game feel fun to them while they're getting bodied to the point where they can actually understand the game and start fighting back.
Right. I
would have no idea. At least in Marvel 3, I would have some, but I would have no idea how to make Infinite, because a lot of people will say that, right? Like, people say, oh, you're gonna get bodied constantly, and then eventually you'll get better. I don't even really like that.
Well, it's just like, because there's a degree of understanding with some slower games like Street Fighter, fucking like even Unist and like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, where it's like you see something, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like in a footsie sense, it makes sense that I got opened up here. You converted off of that. Right. Like there's a degree of understanding when you lose, but when someone's doing shit that you've like never seen before, and there's like, you remove that base level of understanding, that's when the game just gets really fucking frustrating in that sense. Or like, you don't know like on a fundamental level how like Marvel 3 handles things like blocking from both sides. Like you don't know if the game has a system to counter that, or if like it does have a true unblockable setup or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, like in Infinite, for example, one of the newest things that people have to get used to, that I have to get used to, is the rule that the rules regarding what side a character that's being tagged in will come in on based on where the other character is. So, for example, when you cross someone up, after a certain amount of time, after like a very short amount of time after crossing them up, your character will automatically turn around. Now, depending if your character is still facing away from you after they cross you up, if they hit tag, if both of your characters' faces are facing opposite of each other, if they hit tag, that character will come from the direction they came. So that character will end up on the other side of you, the original side. If that character turns around and is now facing the same direction you are, then the tag will come from their new position. It'll come. So if they started on the right and they ended up on the left, if they turn around on the left side, that character will come from the left. If they haven't turned around yet, the character will still come in on the right. And it fucks a lot of people up because the screen has to drag over to see that character. You have to react to it. Tags happen very quickly. Yeah. So it's something that a lot of people are going to have difficulty in terms of reactions for, and it's something that's very, again, that's completely different. It's a completely different thing that we've ever had to experience in a Marvel game, let alone a lot of fighting games like this. So stuff like that, it goes beyond a matter of, it's like, oh, okay, well, once you tell someone once, even if they're new, then they'll know. It's like, well, you still have to fucking react to it. Like, 3 years from now, I'm gonna get bodied by that. Just because it's hard to react to, especially in the moment when crazy shit's happening. So it's just that, and it's just that kind of game. Marvel 3 had a lot of that kind of stuff too. A lot of the Marvel games, a lot of games like this, kind of have that sort of thing happening. So again, there are just certain things that are very difficult to sort of explain to new players and have them be like, look, this is going to be hard to deal with. This is a you know, there's a lot of points where I'll talk. Characters will be like, "Oh, what do I do?" You know, when this character does this happened a lot when KOF 13 was new, where there's there would be so many situations, especially when I would play my friend Sev, who was extremely good at KOF, and I was not that great, but I was interested in the game, and we had a decent scene for it for a while before he moved away, and he would play King, and there'd be certain strings that he would do that just, to me, looked, based on what I understood from other games, it just didn't seem like it would be safe,
right?
Just from what I was used to, and so much of the stuff that he would do just would just be very, very, very safe, and there'd be points where I'd be like, "Look, what do I do with the situation?" And he was like, "Look, if you can't do anything." That was the go-to phrase. But it's like, what can you do? You can't do anything.
You just gotta take it.
Yeah, you just gotta take it and stuff. A lot of players don't like that. A lot of players don't like being like a lot. It's like, oh, I got hit by this unblockable in against Zero and Wesker. He did the gunshot and he went high. What am I supposed to do? It's like, well, don't get put in that situation.
Yeah,
a lot of players don't like that. I'm fine with it because that's the game. But at that point, you have to just look at it and say like, well, that's the fucking game. You know, you have to really like the game. If you like the game enough, you can deal with it. Well, just don't get put in that situation. Try to avoid it. There are moving options to get around that situation, but I mean, that's one of the benefits of their team. That's the setup. So yeah, I mean, it's I think there should be what I would like to see as a very general sort of entry level guide or video series about, or even just a general video or whatever, a book or something about fighting games. And this has been done before, but I would like to see more of sort of an outline for, if you're new to fighting games, these are things that you should expect to as a new player like have to deal with. Yeah. Not to make fighting games like seem unappealing, but it's like, you know, these games are going to have this kind of stuff and it's going to be really crazy. These games are going to be, you know, a bit different. Like, these are the games that I would generally recommend if you're getting stuff. Like, I think as much as people try to say like, oh, it's got like every character has 1,000 moves, it's way too hard, whatever. I think Tekken is a great entry level game because there are a lot of points where you can I think this is why it's such a popular casual game, is because you can have, you know, scrambles with friends and be mashing buttons, but because you're getting different moves all the time, and because you're just hitting random buttons, it makes it feel like you're doing a lot, right? Yeah. Same thing for like MK. You do all these random, hit a bunch of random button combinations. You're going to get different strings because everything is based on like a buffer. You know, if you want like a string of 5 moves, you don't do, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the move comes out, you know, slightly delayed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, and then that move comes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just input it all in one go. That's how it works. So a lot of people who are just mashing very quickly strings, different ones repeatedly, and they're like, whoa, I feel like I'm doing something. Right. So I think as far well as creating an environment that can make you feel like you're doing stuff, even though you're not necessarily, just giving you some sort of feeling of like, hey man, video games are fun. Like Tekken's a great one, but unfortunately it gets put in this bubble of like, oh man, every character's got like 100 moves. There's so many, you got like, it's 3D, you got to do like sidestepping shit, and so it's like, just play Street Fighter. It's like, yeah, that's bad. So,
just play Third Strike, dude.
But again, and everyone has, you know, again, it just goes back, everyone has fucking different opinions on it and what's preferable, but it's fucking hard. And also side thing, I don't have any problem with fucking Gutex paying money if that's what he wants to do. If people, it's his bottom line, if people buy it, that's fine. Yeah. If the content there, because obviously he puts way more into, because for example, I would rather pay for Gutex to give me a lesson than Justin Wong. Why? Because Justin Wong doesn't know how to speak all the time, and I know this from talking to him in person a couple times at tournaments. He's a nice guy, but he's not very good at explaining shit. I know we were talking about a little bit earlier. Like he there's a lot of ums and uhs and stop and goes, and he's like, wait, no, this is wrong. And not to say he's an idiot. He's just, I mean, I don't.
No, I mean,
he's just not a strong communicator.
It's very interesting.
You know, from personally speaking to me, I have that exact same. I try to put my thoughts into words, and I just come out like a fucking autistic asshole.
Right. Whereas Gutex, and I've seen a couple of things before, like clips of this. Like he has a straight up fucking like lesson plan. Like it's like fucking like a teaching job kind of. And it's a you know, it's a specific structure. It's not going to work for everybody, but made out to be a thing. It's not just like, hey, we're just gonna chill and we're just gonna like we're gonna play 10 games and then I'm just gonna like point out a few things, at the end or whatever. More than that. So I'm fucking. It's like when people in the speedrun community were getting mad at this dude. I think it was like Majin Phil or whatever his name was, because he offered like paid lessons in Majora's Mask. But it's like, look, fucking one of the most irritating things I've ever done is try to explain speedrun tricks to people, because this is what fucking happens. It's like, hey, how do I do this? How do I time this this extended jump thingamabob, whatever? It's like, well, I input it this way, but you're just gonna have to feel it out. It's like, yeah, but are there any other like you're just gonna have to feel it out. Okay, well, yeah, but just gonna have to feel it out. That's a lot of that kind of shit. Mm. So if I'm gonna sit down with that kind of person for like and try to help them out with that shit, it's like, yeah, you pay me.
Yeah,
I don't have the patience for that otherwise. Fucking pay me.
What the fuck you're talking about?
Yeah.
Simon. Just fucking. I have no problem with someone personally monetizing. That's.
Mm-hmm. It's something that I can't necessarily just do whatever and find, just that's something that's just as good. If it's something you put effort in, it's like, hey, it's
not only
sure,
that, but
fucking,
you get to personally interact with them. You get to ask them questions, or rather than like leave a comment and wait like 2 weeks later when they respond.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody said if you don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
If your money,
put it out. Well, it's like when artists, they say like, okay, well, this is my commission sheet. It's like, well, that's too much. It's like, all right, well, then don't buy.
What about full exposure then?
It's like, just buy from me, just buy from someone else. I don't give a fuck.
No, but can you hook me up though? No.
It's for exposure on my YouTube channel with 15 subscribers.
But you love the draw.
You love
That's my favorite. It's like, but don't you like? I mean, no. My favorite is, I've gotten this before. It's like, but it's just a drawing. It's like, okay, thanks. Agate. But yeah.
All right.
No, apologies for my ramble.
No, you good.
It was a ramble, but it was a good one.
Let's skip. Does anybody actually give a shit about the next question?
What is the question?
So the next question is: have you ever been made fun of for your tastes? Can you guys hear me?
Cut out entirely for that,
motherfucker.
So let me check the doc.
Let me let's change server again for like the 30th fucking time this cast.
That's what you get for living in the desert.
I don't know what the fuck it is, man. Everybody's complaining about some shit. I think Discord is like rolling out an update or something. Whatever it is, it's fucking annoying. In any case, the question reads, have you ever been made fun of for your tastes? Or have you ever made fun of somebody else for their tastes?
Dog, do you know the games I play?
Dude. Like, okay, and I think the question... I think the question is like in a malicious sense, because this is exactly what our Discord basically is.
I think that I can actually speak for Ian here.
I'm alive.
So I know you're alive, but we grew up in the era where video games were just, first of all, not cool. And then you top that off when people are playing video games. When they hear you're playing RPGs, you're the biggest faggot.
You're a super fag.
That's what I got.
Especially when gaming first started to fucking really go mainstream and all the fucking Halo bros jumped on board. Fucking Morrowind, what are you, gay?
Yeah.
It's got like, is that one of those games with elves and shit?
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. I mean, again, the two grandpas in the server right now, experience. As far as like making fun of someone else's taste, like I think I used to, but in recent years, like I'll tease Terry for playing sports games, but I have nothing against him actually playing sports games. Terry can tell you if he's still in the chat. Probably at most, I make I will endlessly just shit on Borderlands 2, but there's some people I know that play it that I don't have the heart to, tease them about it for. Like I've actually told you this before. I told you about this once upon a time. Some of my older WoW buddies, good guys, sweet dudes, love the fuck out of Borderlands 2. They think Claptrap is the most funny thing in the world. And I just don't have the heart to be like, but you're wrong.
But it's shit though.
Yeah, that's all I really got to say about that.
Trying to think. Not really. Like, everything that I do is just mostly shit posting. That's what everybody does. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, no. Not even for fucking, like, you might think that, like, I might shit on people for playing the reboot, but I don't. No, not even.
Oh, I have no problems with people taking a preference to playing, like,
DMC,
really
DMC. Yeah, no. Not at all. Never.
You know, it's
Actually,
funny,
okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. I do unironically shit on my friends for still playing League of Legends. I have no qualms for telling my people to get the fuck out of that game.
If I hear Asa in a call, I'd be like, "Hey, Charo, whoever the fuck who wants to play League, I will spend 10 minutes."
Yeah.
Hey,
Talking about
Dax,
how much of a fucking fag.
do you want to play some League of Legends? Vash, what are you doing after this, buddy?
Here's the thing: I'm biased to that game because I've lost so many fucking friends. Not even I legitimately lost, but I've lost a lot of time that I could have had spending with some good friends in the past because of that fucking
Fair
game.
enough.
I am
They
never...
would always come back a month later and be like, "I shouldn't have done that." I'm like, "Yeah, you shouldn't have."
I am never playing League of Legends again, Ian.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I think I might even still have it in.
I don't have it installed. That's the thing. I have since left the plantation. I've been gone. And I don't
Just go ahead and download Chrome Remote Desktop.
Nope, I'm never going back. I'm not even going back to Overwatch. Fuck Overwatch.
Wow, really?
Maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to be in a mood. I've been away from that game for so fucking long, dude. Like a long
I've heard
fucking
recent
time.
complaints. Like, again, I don't play fucking Overwatch, but I've heard recent complaints that apparently it became so DPS focused, and every character is like is sort of a jack of all trades to the point where it just turned it into an even further more toxic environment where everyone just kind of wants to do as much damage as possible and like stop caring about tanking and healing and shit.
I mean, yeah. And the highlight reel only rewards the idiot who shot the most bullet.
I fucking love the most bullet, dude.
But no, I don't know.
Riven, best girl, Gundam, get out.
Yeah, Gundam, get out.
I mean, to your taste, that's cool, but
I'm sorry, we can't all be trying to fuck, 2 foot tall Lulu. You're right, my bad. My apologies. My dearest condolences to my nigga. Shoutouts to him. Wherever he is.
Wherever he may be.
Wherever he is, man. Someone's catching the shade. I don't know. The skies got darker. I don't know what happened. So, our last question comes in from Stardust Phantom on Twitter. This guy always comes out with a banger. If you want good questions for your cast, you approach Stardust Phantom. He asks, you turned into a function from Transistor. What are your active and passive abilities? Because I'm assuming everybody here has played Transistor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Half the question. I don't know if it's just me.
Okay.
Nah, it's yeah. Your voice melted again.
Motherfucker.
That's
Discord.
what you get for living in a monument to man's arrogance.
It's the server is US East. I don't get how the fuck this is still an issue.
The sea came for Florida.
There we go. Let's put it in US West. Let's put it in my territory. In my world. You're in my dimension.
So far, so good.
Welcome to it. We got camel spiders and shit. Anyway.
End the call as we speak.
The question was, you have turned into a function from Transistor.
For Marvelous.
For you,
You've turned into Magneto.
you have turned into Magnus. You no longer exist. What are your active and passive abilities?
It's been so long since I played Transistor that I can't even remember half of that.
So what it was is like functions were basically souls of people that gave you powers in the transistor.
I remember that much, yeah.
So then you got like an active, a boost, and a passive element.
Okay, so if you activate me...
Yeah, what do we get if we activate Mark?
Fuck. You'll have a very difficult time describing things. My
Autism?
boost... My boost to your stats is I embolden your procrastination.
Okay.
And passive is come twice.
I like
Hell
the,
yeah.
I like the passive. I like the passive.
I like it, dude.
All right, Dax.
Hmm.
What are you? Use a function. Who is you?
Fuck.
That's a good question.
It's always so hard for me. Such a boring goddamn person. How about... Oh, hold on, actually. Someone go ahead, I'll be right back.
All right, Ian, you hit me up.
All right, so I missed the first half of the question because the internet was being retarded.
So, you have been turned into a function from Transistor. What are your active and passive powers?
Active and passive?
Yeah.
If you activate me, you learn Hokuto Shinken.
What do we learn?
Hokuto Shinken. Fist of the North Star, hello?
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Okay. You cut out for
Maybe
a
it
second.
cut out. Yeah, my internet's being a little retarded.
Sorry, mine too.
My path at least 20% louder. But only at inappropriate times.
Exclusively when you're meant to be quiet.
Every wake is just filled with laughter. Your laughter.
I think Dax's? What would Dax's be? Let's pick his for him.
I'm back.
Never mind.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wait, no, let's still do it. Let's still do it. What is Dax's active?
Sucking dick.
You activate me, you're gonna suck a dick, dude.
You're gonna like it too. I don't fucking know.
What would his be?
Well, I know, like, every time you hop into a call, you shout how much you're coming. Or you're about to, you're always edging.
Wait a minute, that's the strat. Okay, so Dax, you get the active where you come, and then you use Pokey's passive where you come twice. We're making a build. We got a really good build here.
Oh, it's really good.
What's his passive, though? You're just not allowed in the GDQ practice room?
Your voice gets really deeper, so whenever you talk to people, your charisma is like 100 times higher. And they just do shit for you.
That's how that works. No, your genes get fucked up.
Hell yeah, dude.
We got it. We figured out the strat.
You just start main spreading everywhere.
No, your active is you get a life, then you can't play KH2FM anymore. Your active is you stop playing KH2FM.
Shit.
I like it.
You drop that shit for eternity. Plus 10 to thirst and minus 15 to charisma. Damn. At least give me plus 15 to thirst. I don't know. What would mine be? Activate me and you get...
herpes.
Wow.
That works.
Wow.
No, you activate me and I delete all copies of League of Legends from every computer in a 10-mile radius.
Oh, shit.
And I replace it with a copy of Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition.
What about that Evelyn rework?
What about the...
Is your passive to always just play games that never finish?
Yeah, so my passive is as soon as I touch a game, it immediately becomes 50% complete. It doesn't matter what the game is.
And you don't stop playing it.
I never. No, if I were to go back to League of Legends right now with my passive, we would go back to Season 2. And that would be good, because Season 2 was the last time that League was good.
No, that'd be a really good passive, because you could play WoW and you could back the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, true.
Actually, no,
Ooh.
halfway it would take you back to like... it would be after. It'd be like at the beginning of Cataclysm. Fuck. Never mind.
Well, I mean, okay, the start of Kata was the best time for Kata, so there you go.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
The start of Kata was tight, yeah.
The start of Kata was lit.
Yeah.
There were furries everywhere, dude.
Non-stop.
Non-stop furry action. Fucking, we had Jews in WoW finally on the Horde side, dude. Fuck. It was a great time for diversity.
Oy vey.
Oy vey schmea. Alright. Going back, reverting patches. Yeah, $60. Your game is unfinished. I am the reason that TMNT is so shit. I touched the game.
Shit, dude.
Sent it back into
That's
the
why it
beta.
was half the frame rate.
Yeah. I erased your frame rate. You better hope I never touch MVCI. You think the game looks bad now? We're gonna go back to wireframe models and 15 frames per second, dude.
Shit's gonna look like Virtua Fighter 1.
Thank God.
I'm gonna touch Shenmue 3 and it's just gonna be going back to Virtua Fighter.
Oh, thank God.
That's what you want.
That is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I think that's it.
I want someone real quick. I would want someone. I don't know who it would be, but I would want someone passive instead of making the graphics shitty or the frame rate just gets really fucking bad. Like,
That's Yoko
I'm already
Taro's.
playing Hob, dude.
That's Yoko Taro's passive.
Hell yeah, dude.
When you install him.
Like no, it goes in levels. So from the start, you just get like little divs. As it goes on, it gets to like fucking like Resonance of Fate PS3 version kind of shit. And then once you get final level up, it's Dragon Guard 3.
You end up in a fucking Chinese bootleg.
Oh yeah.
Hard times.
I would make DMC4 only Nero. That's what I would do. You can only play... Like, I go to Special Edition just so I can erase the 3 new characters.
It's okay. At least you'd have reasonable hitboxes for enemy out.
Always, always. Alright. That about does it. This episode of the cast. I do believe.
We did it.
Bit of a chill one today. Bit of a simple one. So, with that said, what do people want to watch? You want to watch MVCI, Blaze Blue?
Who's playing
Puked a
what
little
right
bit.
Sonic Fox is playing MVCI. You could watch Worlds, but that's a rerun. You could watch Mango play Melee. Or Flo playing MVCI, or an open tournament for Blaze Blue. So we got some options.
Mike B is playing Cuphead right now.
Could you give me a link to Mike B, aka Phony?
Yeah, give me a second.
That'd be appreciated. Me, Migo. Jabali is playing Cuphead. I'm not trying to
Wait,
get
did
jabated.
the boy already go offline?
Did you just jabate me?
No, wait, hold on. It says, okay, no, it was this shit's for mature audiences or whatever the fuck. So anyway, there's the link.
Take a look. Alright. We are going to send you guys over to Mike B. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Deuces.
And we're good.
Huzzah.
I kind of don't want to watch Cuphead because I don't want to get spoiled for anything.
Same.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything.
Everything here. Thanks, Vash. The auto host. For that host, rather. Appreciate it.
Work.
Yar.
All right, you guys want to head back to the other server?
Sure.
Hello. Oh, whoa. Jesus Christ.